Our main man, Wang Zheng, is a chill guy who stays out of trouble, enjoying his peaceful life in the countryside. But out of nowhere, his dad forces him to work as a bodyguard for some random girl. Since he has nothing better to do and never turns down cash, he agrees. While waiting at the train station, Wang Zheng can't help but wonder, who's the lucky girl getting a guy like him as a protector? Just then, the news breaks with a hot story. A major heist recently went down at the Jiangning Bank in Yithan. After several days on the run, the main suspect was finally captured. But here's the kicker. When the police found him, he was tied up like a turkey with his hands behind his back, dumped right on the doorstep of the police station. The authorities are still searching for the mysterious vigilante who did this. Hey, leaving a little parting gift is always a good idea, right? Wang Zheng hears the news and smirks, because that criminal was his little masterpiece from last night. The train finally pulls in, and Wang Zheng blends into the sea of people pushing and shoving to get on board. He struggles to squeeze through the crowd, but when he reaches his seat, he finds a fat jerk occupying it while trying to hit on a girl, who's clearly not feeling it. Hey man, move it, this is my seat, Wang Zheng says calmly. Interrupted mid-flirt, the guy looks up with a face full of pure annoyance and doesn't bother hiding his attitude. He scoffs at Wang Zheng, calling him a clueless country bumpkin. Wang Zheng sees he's a big guy, but he's acting like a spoiled brat, so he decides to play it cool. He doesn't let the insult get to him and simply repeats himself. Look buddy, this is my seat, please move. Unfortunately, this guy isn't just immature, he's a total jerk who thinks he's better than everyone. Hearing Wang Zheng, the man pulls out his wallet and grabs a bill. With a smug look, he shoves it toward Wang Zheng, claiming he's buying the seat. His blatant disrespect makes the girl next to him fume with anger, but Wang Zheng, well, he looks absolutely thrilled. He looks at the cash like he's about to drool. Wow, all this for me? He asks. The jerk snaps back. Yeah, so take it and get lost. The guy drops the money on the floor dismissively and starts scrolling through his phone. He thinks Wang Zheng is some naive kid who gets excited over a few bucks. But suddenly, Wang Zheng snatches the phone right out of his hand. He tells the guy that, actually, he likes the phone way more than the cash. And then, he chucks it across the train. The jerk loses it, jumping up and screaming insults at Wang Zheng's face. Wang Zheng doesn't even flinch. He just casually reminds the guy that with this many people on the train, if he doesn't go find it right now, it'll be gone for good. Despite his rage, the guy has no choice but to scramble away to find his phone. Having successfully kicked the guy out, Wang Zheng settles into his seat and mumbles to himself, "Little punk. Don't think us country folk are easy targets." A guy sitting across from him can't help but give him a big thumbs up. Meanwhile, the beauty who was being harassed is incredibly grateful he stepped in to save her. She strikes up a conversation, introducing herself as Su Nuanuan, a sophomore at the Capital Medical University. "I'm Wang Zheng." He reaches out to shake her hand, but before they can say another word, the jerk returns with his phone in hand. Seeing Wang Zheng comfortably sitting in the seat, he screams in a blind rage. "You low-class hillbilly, you took the money, so why are you still here?" His words die in his throat the moment he meets Wang Zheng's murderous glare. "If you say one more word, I'm throwing you straight out the window. Just you wait. When we get to the capital, I'm gonna destroy you." The jerk keeps barking. Wang Zheng replies, "We don't need to wait for the capital. I can handle you right now." Wang Zheng pulls off his flip-flop and points it right at the guy's face. "I'm telling you one last time, say another word, and I'll put you in a coffin." Wang Zheng isn't joking, but he's dealing with a guy who's as thick-headed as they come. The jerk acts like he's the one being wronged, and his voice only gets louder. "Like you could actually do it. Looking at you, you're either a construction worker or a farmer, right? Do you move bricks for a living? Maybe I should find you a real job." Wang Zheng stays silent. One second he's standing in front of the guy, and the next, he practically teleports behind him, making the jerk jump out of his skin. Then, Wang Zheng leans in and whispers something in the guy's ear, so low that he can't even catch it. "What did you say? I can't hear you." The guy shouts, frustrated. Wang Zheng crosses his arms and says, "Oh, nothing. I just think you should go change your pants." Wang Zheng looks down at the guy's crotch. That's when the arrogant jerk realizes that, somehow, his pants are soaking wet. Instinctively, he lets out a high-pitched yelp and desperately tries to cover himself with both hands. The whole train car erupts into whispers and laughter, mocking him for the mess he just made. Imagine being a grown man and not being able to control your own bladder. Talk about having zero dignity. Some people even pulled out their phones to record the scene. Making that lowlife so embarrassed, he tucked his tail and ran. Wang Zheng figured the guy wouldn't dare come back to cause more trouble, so he casually sat back down in his seat. "You're amazing. How did you make him? Wet himself like that?" Su Nuanuan asked, her eyes wide with curiosity. Wang Zheng looked at her and asked, "Do you really want to know?" She responded with an eager, frantic nod. "It was nothing special, really. I just tapped a few of his pressure points." Hearing this, Su Nuanuan's eyes lit up even brighter. "Are you an expert in traditional Chinese medicine? You understand the human body's meridians so well. That's seriously impressive. I'm actually studying Chinese medicine too. If you're ever free, do you think we could study and discuss it together?" "Sure. If I have some time, I'll come find you." They chatted happily throughout the rest of the journey. When they finally reached the last stop, Su Nuanuan pulled out her phone. She wanted to get Wang Zheng's contact information, but he politely turned her down, saying that since they were both in the capital, they'd surely meet again if it was meant to be. After saying goodbye to Su Nuanuan, Wang Zheng walked straight out of the station. Right at the exit, he was met by two tall men in black suits. They were wearing sunglasses and looked exactly like mobsters. "Are you Wang Zheng? Our boss sent us to pick you up." While saying this, the two men secretly scanned Wang Zheng from head to toe, judging every inch of him. They were seriously doubting if this was actually the high-level bodyguard their boss had spent a fortune to hire. Looking at this scrawny, frail-looking student, they were worried the young lady would blow a fuse when she saw him. Regardless, Wang Zheng followed them into a luxury car. He was headed to start his new job. Little did he know, that scumbag from the train had actually followed him all this way. After seeing Wang Zheng get into the car, the guy whipped out his phone and called his uncle. "Hello, uncle. I ran into a real tough guy today. Can you help me out?" Meanwhile, the car carrying Wang Zheng sped off. They took him to the Taiping Mountain Villa. The mansion in front of him was so incredibly lavish, it actually made his eyes dazzle for a moment. The two men led him straight into the living room. There, a blonde girl was sitting on the sofa with her back turned toward him. Wang Zheng looked at her silhouette and secretly gave her a score of 75. "Young lady, per the master's orders, we have brought Mr. Wang. From now on, he will be your high-level bodyguard." As the two men finished their report, the young lady got so angry she slammed her TV remote onto the floor, shattering it. She stood up abruptly and shouted, "Having you guys around is already enough. Why does my dad keep trying to monitor my entire life? I seriously can't take this anymore." As she spoke, she turned around. The moment their eyes met, Wang Zheng stood there dazed for a few seconds. Seeing her face to face, he realized he had to bump her score up to a solid 90. While Wang Zheng was busy admiring her, she was also sizing him up. But her first impression of Wang Zheng was just some young guy with scruffy stubble, who looked like a middle-aged uncle. His feet were dirty, and he was wearing cheap, rubber flip-flops. As a young lady who grew up in the lap of luxury, she immediately made a face of pure disgust. "Why is such a slovenly person in my house? He's tracking dirt all over the floor. Hurry up and kick him out." She screamed at the top of her lungs. The two men felt a massive headache coming on, thinking that the young lady's germophobia was acting up again. It looked like she was about to go on a total rampage. Seeing her complain about him dirtying the floor, Wang Zheng took off his flip-flops and tossed them to the side. But the moment those dirt-covered flip-flops hit the floor, the girl became even more irritated. "Zhang Yang!" The young lady's scream made the man standing next to her jump in fright. "I don't care if my father invited this man or not. I, Shangguan Shishi, will not accept this. Get him out of my house right now." The bodyguard named Zhang Yong was in a very awkward spot. He couldn't understand why the boss had hired such an unreliable-looking guy to protect the young lady this time. However, Wang Zheng, the one being kicked out, didn't seem angry at all. Instead, he calmly looked at Shangguan Shishi and asked a question. "Your period has been irregular for a long time, hasn't it? That's why you lose your temper so easily. This situation is actually quite serious." Hearing this, Shangguan Shishi turned bright red with embarrassment. She pointed a trembling finger straight at Wang Zheng's face. She screamed that he was a pervert and ran straight into the house. Seeing this, Zhang Yong gave Wang Zheng a big thumbs up. "Not bad, brother. You actually managed to shut the young lady up." "It was nothing, really," Wang Zheng replied. He felt pretty smug, thinking that if Shangguan Shishi wanted to play games with him, he was more than ready to make her cry a river. Zhang Yong then put a friendly arm around his shoulder and whispered that the young lady was actually a good person, just a bit sharp-tongued. He said she'd be fine once she cooled down. Wang Zheng glanced at him through his dark glasses. He could see heavy dark circles under the man's eyes, so he said, "Brother Zhang, your eyes are looking pretty hollow. I bet your wife gives you a hard time at home, doesn't she? Damn, you can even see that? To be honest with you, I really don't have much status in my own house. Do you have a way to fix that, my friend?" Zhang Yong asked, his face full of surprise. "Haha, looks like we're brothers now. Easy does it." Zhang Yong's initial grudge vanished instantly. He actually found this young man pretty interesting and definitely someone worth bonding with. Just as they were hitting it off, Shangguan Shishi returned. This time, she wasn't alone. She brought 2 more stunning women with her. On the left was Cheng Fei, the design director of the Blue Sea Group. On the right was Han Xingye, Shishi's best friend, who also came from a very prestigious family. Seeing the 3 beauties standing together was like looking at a literal masterpiece. Wang Zheng gave them all a solid 90 out of 100, silently praising his own self-control. Any other guy in this situation would probably be having a major nosebleed right about now. Han Xingye marched up to Zhang Yong, hands on her hips, and asked in an annoyed tone, "Zhang Yong, who on earth is this filthy guy? Is he the one who made Shishi cry?" Zhang Yong looked awkward. Wang Zheng was personally invited by the old master Shangguan, yet these spoiled young ladies were treating him like total trash. But Wang Zheng didn't seem to mind the insults at all. He simply spoke up, "Let me explain the situation." After he laid out the whole story, Cheng Fei, being the eldest and most sophisticated of the 3, knew exactly how to handle things. She realized Wang Zheng was the special bodyguard they'd been waiting for, even if he did look like a mess with his ragged clothes and dirty hands. She told Zhang Yong to take him to the guest room to shower and change first, before bringing him back to the lounge for a formal introduction. Zhang Yong nodded and led Wang Zheng away, leaving the 3 women alone in the living room. Shishi immediately started begging Cheng Fei to help her get rid of Wang Zheng for good. Cheng Fei found the request quite puzzling. Why do you want to kick him out? The more the merrier, plus, who knows? He might even be able to cure your condition. It wasn't clear exactly what Shishi was suffering from, but hearing Cheng Fei mention, it made her pout instantly. So many famous doctors couldn't fix it, so what's he gonna do? Sister Cheng Fei, whose side are you even on anyway? Shishi, if Uncle Shangguan invited him, he must be talented. Having an extra person to protect you might prevent another kidnapping attempt like what happened last time. Cheng Fei did her best to convince her, but it wasn't enough to erase Shishi's bad first impression of Wang Zheng. After a while, he finished freshening up and stepped back into the room. Wang Zheng looked like a completely different person, now clean, sharp, and handsome. The 3 girls were momentarily stunned into silence. Han Xingye was the first to snap out of it. She didn't call him a filthy guy anymore. Instead, she went into full-on fangirl mode. "Wang Zheng, your skin is amazing. You're actually really handsome. Well, if I made a face mask for you myself, your skin could look just as good," he teased. Wang Zheng joked around with a half-serious smirk. "Sure, why not?" Han Xingye was thrilled by his looks and smooth talk, clapping her hands like a total obsessed fan. Seeing her act so hopeless, Cheng Fei couldn't help but give a few pointed coughs. She signaled Han Xingye to behave and get down to business, then turned to Wang Zheng with a serious expression. "Wang Zheng, if Uncle Shangguan personally invited you, then you must have some special talents. How about you show us what you've got? That way, Shishi can feel more comfortable with you around." "Show you something?" Wang Zheng thought for a moment. To be honest, he didn't know what to show, so he asked Cheng Fei if he could borrow her jacket. Shishi immediately jumped up, blocking Cheng Fei and shooting Wang Zheng a fierce, protective glare. "What do you think you're doing to Sister Cheng Fei? You pervert!" Despite her outburst, Cheng Fei remained perfectly calm. She took off her jacket, reassuring Shishi with one hand while handing it over to Wang Zheng with the other. He took the jacket, held it to his nose for a moment, and then asked, "Have you been feeling unusually tired and dizzy lately?" Cheng Fei's eyes widened in total surprise. Everything Wang Zheng just said was spot on. Seeing her confusion, he explained that the perfume on her jacket wasn't normal. It contained a substance that could paralyze the nervous system. The effect was so subtle that it was almost impossible for a regular person to notice. But with long-term use, it would weaken the nervous system, leaving the victim listless and easy for others to manipulate. Cheng Fei started to panic. "How is that possible? I bought this perfume myself from an official flagship store. Is someone trying to hurt you?" "I'm not sure about that. But don't worry, just stop using this perfume and your symptoms will vanish on their own." Wang Zheng added that since he was here now, things would be different. He wasn't just talking about shady drugs. Even if someone tried to assassinate the beauties in this room, he was more than capable of making them regret their stupidity for the rest of their lives. His sheer confidence and steady voice completely won Cheng Fei over. She stood up, excitedly suggesting that Wang Zheng join them for a walk this afternoon to pick up some new clothes. After all, a bodyguard for Shangguan Shishi needed to look the part. And so, that afternoon, Wang Zheng obediently followed the three ladies out. Wherever they went, they turned heads and drew every eye in the building. Check out that guy over there. Who do you think he is? Strolling around with 3 absolute 10s like that. Man, if he is not some rich heir, then those 3 girls must have stepped in some serious luck to end up with a guy like him. Basically, neither of those guys had anything good to say. Vuong Tran, with his sharp hearing, caught every single word. He could not help but feel annoyed. Here he was, working a legitimate job as a bodyguard, yet he was still being labeled as a bad guy. It was seriously unfair. While he was lost in thought, Vuong Tran suddenly heard Shangguan Shishi shouting at him. Thanfi told you to go try on some clothes, so why are you just standing there like an idiot? Oh, right. I am coming. Vuong Tran replied quickly. While Vuong Tran was in the fitting room, Shangguan Shishi stayed outside, constantly grumbling and complaining. She kept saying how he was so dazed just from a simple shopping trip, asking how someone like him could ever protect them. Maybe it is just because it is his first time out with beautiful women, so he is a little nervous. Thanfi defended him just as Vuong Tran finished changing. The moment he pulled the curtain back and stepped out, Shangguan Shishi was completely stunned. Vuong Tran had already looked different after cleaning up earlier, but now that he was all dressed up, he looked incredibly handsome. He looked so good that all 3 beauties could not take their eyes off him. Thanfi immediately stood up, swiped her card, and had the clothes packed. Since they were done shopping, they started discussing where to eat. Vuong Tran felt a bit sluggish, thinking these people were so boring. If they were not shopping, they were eating. The only upside was that they were taking him to an incredibly fancy restaurant. Wow, I never thought I would get the chance to eat at a high-end place like this. Vuong Tran marveled before he even got settled in his seat. Shut up, don't act like such a country bumpkin. You are making me look bad. Shangguan Shishi yelled again. She was about to scold Vuong Tran some more, but right then, Han Xingye spotted Truong Mintone and his goons. This guy was the prince of the Lam Hai group, which happened to be the company where Thanfi worked. But the main issue was that he had been pestering her lately, making him someone all 3 of them absolutely loathed. As soon as Shangguan Shishi saw Truong Mintone's face, she completely lost her appetite. Hello, Thanfi. Fancy meeting you here. It must be fate, right? Truong Mintone walked over enthusiastically to greet her. But everyone knew it was no coincidence. He had clearly followed Thanfi there. Then, Truong Mintuan noticed a stranger at the table and asked suspiciously, "And who exactly are you?" "He is Thanfi's boyfriend." Shangguan Shishi blurted out nonchalantly, being so blunt that Vuong Tran nearly choked on his water. Truong Mintone was instantly panicked and asked Thanfi if what Shangguan Shishi said was actually true. To everyone's surprise, the usually serious woman decided to play along and used Vuong Tran as a human shield. That is right, we are dating. Vuong Tran sighed to himself, thinking that if he had to be a shield, he should really be getting a raise for this. But whatever, he was a good guy after all, and helping out a beautiful woman would not hurt him. Are you really Thanfi's boyfriend? Truong Mintone asked aggressively. What is your name? Where do you live? Who are your parents? Vuong Tran was not happy about being interrogated by some random guy, so he snapped back. What business is it of yours? That attitude made Truong Mintone lose his mind. You little country bumpkin. What did you just say to me? Thanfi, how could you ever fall for such a vulgar person? Truong Mintone shouted, pointing rudely right at Vuong Tran's face. He questioned Thanfi, who was sitting right across from him. Honestly, it was pretty clear who the vulgar one was here. Thanfi was furious and raised her voice. Truong Mintone, watch your mouth. Vuong Tran reached over and gently patted her hand. That small gesture was caught by Truong Mintone, making him even more enraged. At first, he started mocking Vuong Tran, calling him a weak and pathetic man. He mocked him for needing a woman to speak up for him and then started provoking him. If you are so tough, why don't you try hitting me, you coward? Truong Mintone obviously thought Vuong Tran would not dare touch him, but he had no idea he was dealing with someone who did not care about the consequences. The moment the words left the guy's mouth, Vuong Tran lifted his leg and kicked him straight in the junk. All 3 women were in total shock, while the Truong guy was in so much pain that he collapsed on the floor, curling up like a shrimp. Vuong Tran did not stop there. He stepped forward and planted his foot right on the guy's face. I was not planning on getting physical, But I am just giving you what you asked for. Why did you have to go and provoke me? After saying that, Vuong Tran turned his gaze toward Truong Minton's subordinates to warn them, if any of you dare to step forward, you will end up just like your boss. Seeing that Vuong Tran was a man of his word and completely reckless, the group did not dare to move. They only rushed over to help Truong Minton up. As he left, he was still gnashing his teeth, hurling threats at Wang Zheng. Just you wait, you bastard. This isn't over yet. Seeing him like that, Cheng Fei looked quite worried and apologized to Wang Zheng. She knew Zhang Mingquan was the vengeful type, who never let a grudge go, and she feared Wang Zheng would be in for serious trouble later on. Well, I am a bodyguard for the Shangguan family now. If anything happens, I have you ladies to shield me, right? Wang Zheng said with a perfectly straight face. His words made Shangguan Shishi lose her cool. He was truly a hopeless case. With that one sentence, the image I just built of you in my head has completely crumbled. Honestly, I do not really care what kind of image you have of me. After all, I am a man, not some moody girl with an irregular cycle. Wang Zheng replied with that same nonchalant attitude. Shangguan Shishi was so stunned she was speechless. She slammed the table and stood up, but she just could not find the words to fire back. Han Xingye watched this and giggled, covering her mouth. It seemed her best friend had finally met her match. After that, they began their meal together, but not long after they started, a squad of police officers suddenly burst in with grim expressions. They claimed they had received a complaint about someone starting a fight here and were there to settle it. Behind them was Zhang Mingquan, being supported by two men. When Shangguan Shishi and the others saw this, their contempt for him only grew. This guy is being way too dramatic. He just took one kick to the groin, yet he is acting like he is on his deathbed just to play the victim. Cheng Fei immediately recognized the man leading the group as Wang Huaping, the deputy chief of the criminal investigation unit in this district. He was not someone to be trifled with. However, Wang Zheng did not care one bit about the deputy chief's status. He bluntly mocked Zhang Mingquan, saying he was not a real man for calling for backup the moment he lost a fight. It was truly pathetic. But a scoundrel like Zhang Mingquan did not care about dignity. He immediately started whining and reporting him to Wang Huaping. Uncle Wang, this is the punk who hit me. Wang Zheng shrugged and asked, So, do you have any evidence to prove you did not hit anyone? Wang Huaping placed a hand on his shoulder, his voice dripping with intimidation. How ridiculous. Now we need proof that we did not hit someone? That one sentence was enough to show that Wang Huaping was not exactly a fair or just officer. Before Wang Zheng could even respond, the young mistress Shangguan jumped up, declaring that all three of them could testify for him. It is obvious Zhang Mingquan is just making things up to frame us. You and him might just be accomplices. So your words cannot be trusted, Wang Huaping said shamelessly. He really had a knack for making Shangguan Shishi see red. She demanded to know why the one-sided complaint from that loser was believable, while her own words were not. Why else? It is because he has a powerful father. This time, Wang Zheng answered for Wang Huaping in an incredibly mocking tone. Zhang Mingquan showed no shame at all. Instead, he looked incredibly smug, thinking small fries like Wang Zheng would never have the right to challenge him in this life. Wang Zheng slowly stood up. Wang Huaping was clearly standing right in front of the guy, yet somehow, out of nowhere. Just like how he handled that pickpocket on the train, he suddenly appeared right in front of Zhang Mingquan. Then, Wang Zheng swung his hand, delivering a slap so hard it left 5 clear finger marks on his face. He left a cold warning. If I ever see you on the street again, I will put you in a coffin. After a moment of shock, Han Xingye was the first to react to the situation. She stood up and clapped loudly, praising Wang Zheng for the great hit. Unsurprisingly, that slap actually pushed the bastard over the edge. He pulled a gun from his waist. At this point, even Wang Huaping panicked. He did not expect this spoiled brat to be carrying illegal weapons. Mingquan, what do you think you are doing? He tried to stop Zhang Mingquan, but rage had completely blinded the man. His finger was already on the trigger. Too bad for Zhang Mingquan. Just as he was about to fire, Wang Zheng appeared behind him again with lightning speed. His large hand tightly gripped the man's neck while the other hand snatched the gun away. Zhang Mingquan was completely powerless once again. Let go of me, he managed to choke out. It seems I have been away from the city too long. Things have really changed, haven't they? Fine. Since I have run into such a lowlife, there is no need for me to be polite anymore. Wang Zheng tightened his grip, making it hard for Zhang Mingquan to breathe. The situation was clear as day. Yet Wang Huaping intentionally ignored the facts, framing Wang Zheng for disturbing public order. Behind him, his two subordinates drew their guns and aimed them straight at Wang Zheng. Wang Huaping threatened him to let go immediately. Otherwise, he would not hesitate to open fire. But the more he threatened, the harder Wang Zheng squeezed Zhang Mingquan's throat. Let's be real. Even if all of you jumped me at the same time, you wouldn't stand a chance against me. I suggest you save your breath, but let me give you a little insight into my principles. Wang Tran spoke with an incredibly calm and composed tone. He explained that first, he is very protective of his own interests, so no one should even dream of bullying his people, especially the women. Second, Wang Tran admitted he is a very petty person. If anyone messes with him, he is ready to pay them back 100 times over. Third, he isn't a man who likes to argue with logic. As long as people leave him alone, he won't touch them. But if someone dares to cross him, he wouldn't mind sending their entire family to the afterlife. Hearing this, Wang Huaping couldn't help but feel a chill run down his spine. Having been a police officer for so many years, he knew that the words Wang Tran just spoke were absolutely not an empty threat. This kid was clearly not someone to be trifled with. Meanwhile, that guy Zhang Mingquan was constantly causing trouble for him to clean up. He could overlook things before, but this situation was extremely awkward because if Wang Huaping pushed too hard, he feared it would provoke Wang Tran. Yet, if he backed down now, it would be like slapping his own face. Thinking quickly, Wang Huaping tried to find a more flexible way to handle it. Ahem. Look, I'm not taking sides here. Zhang Mingquan, you used an illegal firearm. And you, kid, your dispute with him is disturbing the public peace. According to the law, I have to take both parties back to the station. Who thinks they're going to arrest my young lady? Suddenly, another male voice cut in. This man arrived with a whole group of followers. They marched into the restaurant with an overbearing aura. The man then walked straight toward the three young ladies. Thank you for the timely notification, Miss Thon Phi. As soon as the master heard the young lady was in danger, he immediately sent me here to rescue her. Seeing that her own people had arrived, Han Tin Da let out a sigh of relief and immediately put on a pained expression, starting to complain. Lai Qian, you're just in time. Hurry up and help us teach them a lesson. We were just sitting here enjoying our meal, when suddenly these police officers charged in like thugs, acting all aggressive and trying to arrest us for no reason. And then there's that Zhang Mingquan guy. He's absolutely disgusting. Not only did he have creepy intentions towards Sister Thon Phi, but he even tried to harass me. At this point, Han Tin Da hesitated for a moment before continuing, and he kept staring right at my chest. I'm just a young girl, being publicly harassed like that. How am I supposed to ever get married now? As she spoke, Han Tin Da began to sob, looking incredibly pitiful. Hearing this, Lai Qian's face turned pitch black as fury surged within him. Even though Zhang Mingquan was indeed a scoundrel, he was clearly being framed by Han Tin Da this time, and he couldn't stand being the scapegoat. He screamed at the top of his lungs, "You crazy witch! What kind of nonsense are you talking about? Who would even want to look at you? Uncle Wang, why aren't you doing anything to them yet?" Seeing Wang Huaping still standing still, he got even louder. "Uncle Wang, why are you just standing there like an idiot? Hurry up and arrest them." But Wang Huaping still didn't react. Seeing him screaming so pathetically, Han Tin Da couldn't help but let out a few giggles. "Teehee, it seems like you still don't understand the situation you're in." Faced with such a moron, she didn't mind educating him a bit. The Han family is the #1 martial arts clan in the capital, and for generations, our family members have served as high-ranking training officers in the military. And I am the eldest young lady of that very family. Hearing this, Zhang Mingquan's face instantly turned pale. He really had only been focused on Thon Phi, so he never bothered to look into the backgrounds of Thuong Quan, Tithi, and Han Ting Da. His family background did carry some weight in the business world, but having a bit of money was nothing compared to the Han family. Zhang Mingquan immediately dropped his arrogant act and desperately tried to explain that he really wasn't looking at her chest earlier. He insisted he had no intention of harassing her, but Lai Qian clearly wasn't listening and didn't believe a single word he said. Seeing the man approaching aggressively, Wang Tran cooperatively let go of the scoundrel in his hand and shoved him toward Lai Qian. The result was Zhang Mingquan getting smashed in the face by a punch, and 2 of his front teeth went flying instantly. Seeing this, Han Tin Da kept clapping her hands, praising Lai Qian for the great hit and telling him to keep going. Thuong Quan Tithi didn't show much emotion, but she was clearly satisfied seeing the scoundrel get what he deserved. Lai Qian kept beating him until Zhang Mingquan collapsed limply on the ground, looking absolutely miserable. His whole body was trembling as he reached out toward Wang Huaping for help. But in the end, Wang Huaping was just a squad leader. How could he dare to offend the Han family, a power that even the chief of police had to respect? So, he stood there in a very difficult position. Seeing Wang Huaping like that, Wang Tran couldn't help but step forward. He gave the man a piece of friendly advice. "Hey officer, I suggest you stay out of this. It's for the best. Once things involve these major families, it's no longer something a low-level squad leader like you can handle. Besides, Han Xingye's father is leagues above that Zhang guy's old man in terms of power." Wang Zheng was right on the money. Wang Huaping could only stand there and watch helplessly as Li Jian beat Zhang Mingquan to a bloody pulp. Li Jian didn't stop swinging until Han Xingye finally let out all her rage. In the meantime, Wang Zheng had secretly stuck a tiny needle into Wang Huaping's right shoulder, his motive still a total mystery. It was only after they had completely left that the old man finally dared to breathe a sigh of relief. Today was way too close for comfort. It looks like from now on, I'll have to do a background check on who I'm messing with before I start any trouble. Dinner was finally over, and the four of them hopped back into Shangguan Shishi's open-top supercar to head home. The whole way back, Han Xingye couldn't stop gushing about how this was the most fun she'd had in years. Especially when Wang Zheng delivered that nutshot, it was so incredibly satisfying. While the three girls were chatting away happily, Wang Zheng suddenly turned to Shangguan Shishi and asked just how good her driving skills were. "What's it to you? I'm the boss here. Who gave you permission to call me by my name? Call me young mistress," Shishi snapped back irritably. Wang Zheng didn't let her attitude get to him and simply said, "Why don't you see if you can shake that car behind us? It's been tailing us for a long time now." After Wang Zheng's warning, Shishi checked her rearview mirror and realized he was right, there really was a car following them. Cheng Fei quickly grabbed her phone to call Elder Shangguan. Meanwhile, Shishi slammed it into gear and floored the gas. Her car surged forward, momentarily opening up a gap with the stalker. But both Cheng Fei and Han Xingye's phones had 0 bars. There was no signal at all. This weird situation started making them nervous. Man, if I'd known, I would have just let Li Jian drive us home. Shishi kept driving, but that car was like a leech. It was already closing the distance again, and running like this wasn't going to work forever. Shishi was starting to panic. She looked over and saw Wang Zheng just calmly looking at the plants by the road, which made her blow a fuse. "Wang Zheng, aren't you my bodyguard? Stop staring at the scenery and think of something. Fast. A bodyguard's job is to fight, not to give out directions," Wang Zheng replied nonchalantly. Are you even? A man?" Shishi's eyes practically bulged out of her head. "Of course I'm a man. It's not like I'm the one dealing with an irregular period, right?" Wang Zheng shrugged. That was the 3rd time he used that line today, and it still worked like a charm to get under the young mistress's skin. Fueled by rage, she slammed the gas pedal even harder, and the car took off like a bullet. Wang Zheng nodded in approval. "Good. Now take a few more turns. Don't head toward the Tianping Mountain Villa. Try to head somewhere with fewer people around." Shishi found herself listening to him and kept driving for another hour. That car was still following them like a shadow, making her so anxious she couldn't sit still. "It's been an hour already. Why haven't we lost them yet?" Wang Zheng didn't answer. Instead, he was secretly impressed. He hadn't realized it before, but now that he was seeing it, this girl's driving skills were actually top tier. The only issue was the gas. At this rate, they'd be lucky to last another 60 minutes. It was obvious Shishi was starting to freak out. Unlike her, Wang Zheng stayed cool as a cucumber. He just told her to keep driving until the tank was bone dry. Shishi couldn't help but have her doubts. Did this guy really have a plan? Even though her dad hired him personally and told her to be nice, she still didn't see him as someone who could actually protect her. Meanwhile, the guys in the car behind were almost at their goal by forcing their target toward Dushan Bridge. They were all set to make their next move right there on that bridge. As they reached the bridge, Shishi panicked again. "Now what, Wang Zheng? Dushan Bridge is right ahead, and I've only got 15 minutes of gas left." In the back seat, Han Xingye paled at the mention of Dushan Bridge. That place was notorious for being narrow and covered in thick fog. Even veteran drivers would slow down there, yet they were flying at high speed. She was terrified they were going to crash, but Shishi had no way to turn back. While the car behind was still chasing them down, Wang Zheng just sat there in the passenger seat, casually whistling a tune. She decided to rely on herself, using the fog to finally lose those creeps for good. With that thought, Shishi floored it, racing onto the bridge even though she could barely see the road ahead. She was flying down the bridge until a blinding light suddenly flashed right in front of her. Like there was a car coming from the opposite direction. By reflex, Shishi let go of the steering wheel and let out a terrified scream. Right then, Wang Zheng, sitting in the passenger seat, lunged over and grabbed the steering wheel. The car swerved wildly for a moment before finally coming to a dead stop. The blinding light hitting Shangguan Shishi was coming from two large trucks parked across the bridge, blocking the entire road. If Wang Zheng hadn't slammed on the brakes in time, their convertible would have slammed right into them. Now, the car was completely out of commission. Shangguan Shishi's mind went blank. She had no idea what to do. Meanwhile, Wang Zheng remained as cool as a cucumber, which absolutely infuriated the young heiress. "Say something, will you?" she snapped. "Do you want me to call my dad and get you fired the second we get back?" "Well, worry about making it back first, then we'll talk," he replied. From the back seat, Cheng Fei was also getting anxious. "Wang Zheng, this isn't the time for jokes. We're counting on you right now." "Yeah, Wang Zheng, you have to protect us," Han Xingye chimed in. Shangguan Shishi had been kidnapped before, so they were all terrified it was happening again. Realizing the joking had gone far enough, Wang Zheng wasn't about to be an irresponsible bodyguard. He had to earn that paycheck, after all. He told the three women to stay put, then opened the door, stepped out, and casually lit a cigarette. A massive, heavily tattooed guy stepped out from the car that had been tailing them. As soon as he saw Wang Zheng, his brows furrowed. Where did this guy come from? Who is he? The intel said there were only 3 women, he thought to himself, but then he figured it didn't really matter, since Wang Zheng didn't look like he could fight his way out of a paper bag. Besides, even if he could, they had 9 guns pointed at him. It would be more than enough to handle one guy. Wang Zheng was surrounded by these unidentified men, but he didn't look panicked at all. He even politely put out his half-smoked cigarette before putting on a brown-nosing act. "Wow, quite a welcome party you've got here. Is there something I can do for you, boss?" Seeing him acting so spineless, the leader thought Wang Zheng was terrified and trying to suck up to him, so he praised him for being smart. He pulled out a pistol, tapped it against Wang Zheng's face a few times, and said, "I'm here for the Shangguan girl. You got a problem with that?" No problem at all. "Boss, you do whatever you need to do," Wang Zheng said, waving his hands frantically. Before the tattooed guy could even say anything, Shangguan Shishi couldn't take it anymore. She leaned out of the car and screamed, "Wang Zheng, are you even human? How can you be such a coward? Hey lady, do you not see the 9 guns they're holding? Besides, they're after you, not me. Whether you're safe or not is none of my business," Wang Zheng shouted back. Shangguan Shishi was so angry she was speechless. In the back seat, Han Xingye started to panic. Only Cheng Fei stayed level-headed, reassuring her that Wang Zheng was likely just trying to annoy Shishi. She was sure he would keep them safe. Still, the enemy had the numbers and the firepower. Honestly, even Cheng Fei was worried about whether the 4 of them could get out of this alive. Outside, Wang Zheng was still putting on a show for the kidnappers. Claiming he was a bit nervous, he asked the leader for permission to light another cigarette. Seeing that Wang Zheng was being respectful, the leader agreed. He then started unbuckling his belt, promising to show Wang Zheng a good time once he finished his smoke. With 3 beautiful girls in the car and this thug unbuckling his belt, it didn't take a genius to figure out his disgusting intentions. Shangguan Shishi was beyond stressed, and Han Xingye was already on the verge of tears. Yet, Wang Zheng, the elite bodyguard, just kept puffing away. But strangely, even though it looked like a normal cigarette, it produced an incredibly thick cloud of smoke. To the 3 women in the car, the smoke smelled quite pleasant, but those thugs, after inhaling that seemingly harmless smoke, all collapsed one by one. They rolled around on the ground in agony. Han Xingye found the whole thing bizarre and got out to see for herself. "Wang Zheng, how did your perfume cigarette knock them out like that? This stuff only works on men," he explained. "It causes male hormones to spike 100 times higher than normal. So obviously, it doesn't affect you ladies. As for me, you think I'm dumb enough to let my own stuff take me down? So what does it actually do? The way they're moving is just gross." "Time's almost up," Wang Zheng replied. A few seconds later, the thugs stopped thrashing and passed out cold. Seeing how effective it was, Han Xingye asked Wang Zheng if she could have a whole pound of it. That way, she could easily deal with any creeps who spent all day staring at her. Vuong Tran nearly dropped his cigarette in shock when he heard that. 1 pound. Just 1 pound of this stuff could take out every single one of these guys in an instant. Besides, This medicine is worth a fortune. It's not like I carry it around all the time, you know? Oh, come on, money isn't the issue. Just give it to me already, Han Tin Da pleaded. All right, knock it off with the noise. Vuong Tran brushed Han Tin Da's hand away and walked over to the kidnappers. They were clearly after Thuong Quan Tithi, but being able to jam the cell signal for this entire area proved that the mastermind behind this wasn't someone to mess with. Looking at the group from tonight, it seemed like the guy with the tattoos was the one in charge. Vuong Tran decided to take him back with him. If he wanted answers, he might as well get them straight from the source. Who knows how much time had passed, but eventually, the tattooed guy slowly drifted back to consciousness. The first person he saw was Vuong Tran. But the tables had turned now. Vuong Tran was the one calling the shots. Spill it. Who sent you to kidnap the Thuong Quan family's eldest daughter? Vuong Tran asked, pulling out a lighter to spark up a cigarette. The guy panicked the moment he saw it. No, please, don't light that. Even though he was a lowlife, he wasn't an idiot. Based on what happened earlier, he figured out that Vuong Tran had used that smoke to knock them all out. He had no clue what that drug was, or who this kid really was. All he knew was that 9 guns weren't enough to stop him. But none of that mattered as much as keeping his own skin intact. Realizing this, the tattooed guy tried to strike a deal. If I tell you the truth, can you promise not to kill me? But Vuong Tran wasn't someone to be trifled with. He wasn't about to let this guy dictate the terms. After all, his life was already in Vuong Tran's hands. Terrified that Vuong Tran might actually end him, the tattooed guy started singing like a bird. About the time it takes for a candle to burn down, Vuong Tran had gathered plenty of info. The man behind the kidnapping was Lai Min Hao of the Azure Dragon Gang. But Vuong Tran was a bit confused. That guy Lai was the top boss in this city. He didn't need to get his hands dirty with small-time stuff like kidnapping a rich girl. I don't know anything about that. I'm just a low-level grunt following orders. I wouldn't dare ask why. The guy kept babbling. Seeing how cooperative he was being, Vuong Tran decided to spare his life for now. The guy was beyond grateful. Thank you for sparing me. I, Tham Luong, will definitely find a way to repay this debt. If you ever need anything, boss, I'll walk through fire for you without a second thought, he rambled on. It was just smooth talk to get on his good side, but Vuong Tran surprised him by saying, well, you said it yourself. Tham Luong froze, letting out a loud, huh? He realized he might have just dug his own grave. Vuong Tran sat down in front of him with a dangerous smirk, telling him that he actually did have a little favor to ask. Every fiber of Tham Luong's being wanted to refuse, but he didn't dare cross Vuong Tran. Please, boss, go ahead. If it's within my power, I won't say no. While the guy's mouth was still open, Vuong Tran flicked a small pill right into it. The pill shot into Tham Luong's mouth, and he instinctively swallowed it whole. Tham Luong started coughing violently, panic washing over him. He tried to shove his fingers down his throat to get the pill out, terrified it was poison. I'm not trying to kill you, Vuong Tran said calmly. It's a special poison I spent a lot of time perfecting. Let's call it 3 months to live. Just like the name suggests, it lasts for 3 months. Since you've swallowed it, you have to come to me for the antidote within 3 months. Otherwise, your body will slowly start to rot. Eventually, you'll die. And there's no way to stop it. I'm the only one with the cure. Any other medicine will actually cause the poison to react instantly. Even if you get a fever or a cold, don't you dare take a single pill. If you do, even God won't be able to save you. Vuong Tran did this to force the guy to cooperate. He then ordered Tham Luong to head back to headquarters and report everything that happened today to Li Min Hao. He emphasized, and make sure that idiot Li Min Hao knows one thing. Tell him that I, Vuong Tran, am back. Later that night, Tham Luong returned to the hideout and told Li Min Hao exactly what had gone down. He bowed his head low, apologizing for failing the mission. Lai listened in silence, falling into a deep thought. Meanwhile, the other subordinates started whispering and mocking Tham Luong behind his back. Talked a big game about handling everything himself and making sure nothing went wrong. And look at him now crawling back after a total failure. How embarrassing. Tham Luong is supposed to be one of our best. Who could have actually messed him up this badly? We should actually thank that guy. With the way Tham Luong was getting promoted, there wouldn't have been any room for the rest of us to shine. Haha, Shen Liang heard every single word. But since he was standing right in front of Li Min Hao, he could only grit his teeth in a silent, burning rage. If he hadn't, he would have jumped up to start a fight a long time ago. After a heavy silence, Li Min Hao stood up, crushed his cigarette, and asked, "Are you hiding something from me?" Shen Liang stammered in response, That guy. He also said one more thing. What else did he say? Li Minghao barked impatiently. He said, "When I get back, I have to tell you that Wang Zheng is finally back." Hearing this, Li Minghao didn't get angry at all. Instead, he burst into a delighted laugh. Then he must have called me that idiot Li Minghao, right? Shen Liang was absolutely stunned. He had tried so hard to censor the insults so his boss wouldn't blow a fuse, yet Li Minghao guessed it perfectly. It was clear these two went way back. Li Minghao's vibe was hard to read, somewhere between pure fury and intense excitement. He turned back and poured himself a glass of wine. If he's really back and sticking his nose into this, then we're stopping right here. We don't need to bother with the Shangguan family anymore. Li Minghao took a sip of wine, his eyes drifting far out the window. He muttered to himself, "He didn't come to me, and I don't want to disturb him. After all, I've waited this long. I've finally waited long enough for you, Wang Zheng." Meanwhile, at the Shangguan villa, Shangguan Shishi was throwing a total fit. She couldn't forgive the man who tried to kidnap her. She wanted him tortured to death just to satisfy the burning rage in her heart. You have to let the line run long to catch the big fish. Is such a simple logic too hard for you to grasp? Wang Zheng replied, implying that letting Shen Liang go was the only way to lure out the mastermind behind the scenes. But Shishi clearly already had a grudge against him, so she just saw Wang Zheng's explanation as a cheap excuse. She stayed huddled in her anger. Only Cheng Fei truly trusted the way he handled things. Shishi thought she was just taking Wang Zheng's side, which only made her even more annoyed. After getting home, Cheng Fei called Master Shangguan to report everything that had just happened. She also asked to hire more bodyguards, since Shishi almost got kidnapped a second time. But he refused. He believed that having Wang Zheng around was more than enough. This just goes to show how much trust he's earned to have the old man backing him like that. Shishi was the only one who absolutely refused to accept it. But since her father was firm, she had to suck it up. She let out a long sigh and slumped onto the sofa. Just then, a sharp, stabbing pain in her stomach made her vision go blurry. Wang Zheng noticed her expression and asked, "What's wrong?" Shishi didn't answer, but Han Jingye quickly piped up. Han Jingye explained that she was suffering from period cramps, and it was a struggle every single month. No one understood why her condition was so severe. Painkillers didn't work, and even after seeing several doctors, nothing could fix it. So every month, she had to endure this agonizing pain that felt like she was dying. Seeing that Wang Zheng knew a thing or two about traditional medicine, Cheng Fei suggested he try to diagnose Shishi. Even though they had been bickering all day, Wang Zheng didn't have the heart to watch her suffer like that. He told the young mistress to lie down for a bit so he could give her a massage to ease the pain. Shishi obediently lay down but kept grumbling. "Fine, you can massage me, but keep your hands where they belong. If you touch me anywhere else, you're dead. Don't flatter yourself. I'm only interested in women with taste, and you definitely aren't one of them." Wang Zheng shot back, then started massaging Shishi's lower abdomen. His words always pushed the young mistress's buttons. Normally, Shishi would have exploded and started a screaming match with him. But this time, she was surprisingly quiet because she realized the spots Wang Zheng was massaging actually stopped hurting. She even started to feel quite comfortable. After a while, Wang Zheng stopped. As soon as he pulled his hands away, she felt a bit of a void. "Wait, you're stopping? I'll do it again tomorrow." A daily massage is great for reducing menstrual pain. Combined with acupuncture and the medicine I'll prescribe, your irregular cycle can be completely cured. At that moment, Shishi found Wang Zheng to be strangely reliable. Despite their constant bickering, she even managed to shyly mutter a thank you to him. But the touching moment didn't even last 3 seconds before Wang Zheng suddenly jumped back like he'd seen a ghost. He said he needed to go wash his hands immediately because he had just touched something totally gross. That one sentence wiped away all of Shishi's gratitude, replacing it with pure, unadulterated rage. "You jerk, Wang Zheng. Get out of my sight right now." Even though they were like oil and water, Cheng Fei still saw him as very dependable. Once he left the living room, she looked for a chance to talk to Wang Zheng privately about an important matter coming up. "Thanks for the massage you gave Shishi, and for taking care of those kidnappers last night. Old man Shangguan is a titan in the Chinese business world. In just 10 short years, he has ridden the wave of development to take the Shangguan family to brand new heights. And since Shishi is his only daughter, she has a huge target on her back for all his competitors. Even people within the family are praying for something to happen to her, just to put the old man in a corner and force him to step down. By keeping Shishi safe, Wang Zheng is actually doing the Shangguan family a massive favor. I didn't expect him to be so heroic when it counts, especially since he looks so scrawny normally. No wonder Uncle Shangguan trusts him so much. He must have seen how badass he is before. Cheng Fei kept rambling on, but Wang Zheng saw right through her little scheme. He walked over and patted her on the shoulder. All right, you don't need to beat around the bush just to dig up my background. Just knowing I'm awesome is enough. Caught red-handed, Cheng Fei felt a bit embarrassed. She continued, well, can I ask you for one more favor? Shishi grew up away from her parents. Uncle Shangguan is always busy with work, so he spoiled her rotten to make up for his guilt. That is why she is so hot-headed. But she is all bark and no bite, so please do not take it personally, okay? Wang Zheng thought it was something serious, but he just shrugged. Don't worry, I am just teasing that kid for fun. I have no interest in holding a grudge against her. With that, Wang Zheng headed out. He was exhausted. Cheng Fei watched him walk away, wondering what kind of background a man with the old man's absolute trust could possibly have. The skyscraper shimmered under the morning sun. Inside the office, Shen Liang asked respectfully, Big brother, are you really giving up on the plan to kidnap Shishi? Are we dropping the partnership with Cheng Kangmei? We still need his influence. Li Minghao replied nonchalantly. Who cares about Cheng Kangmei? Yang Rong chimed in, tossing a folder on the desk. His Meilong group is no match for the Shangguans. Now that the Shangguan family has announced their move into the military sector, no one can touch their territory. He has got nowhere left to run, so he is hoping to use the daughter to threaten the head of the family. What kind of future could a guy like that have? Minghao mused, interlacing his fingers. Besides, now that Wang Zheng is back, I am way more interested in his next move than some guy like Cheng Kangmei. Shen Liang still looked hesitant, but big brother, look at this poison in me. Minghao cut him off immediately. If he said he will give you the antidote in 3 months, then just suck it up and go find him then. But suddenly, his expression turned dark. And you better fix that perverted habit of yours. If there is a next time, do not ever show your face to me again. Shen Liang felt that chill right down to his core. Yes, big brother. I will change right now. He scrambled out of the room like his life depended on it. He watched his subordinate leave and thought, Wang Zheng, you are back. So why haven't you come to see me? Minghao frowned, his eyes full of secrets. Do I really have to be the one to find you? Meanwhile, at a busy intersection, Shishi rubbed her tired forehead as she headed toward the Judi restaurant. That glutton Han Xingye said he wanted roast duck and already picked a spot. Suddenly, a scream echoed through the street. Robber! Someone help! Robbery! Wang Zheng, sitting in the driver's seat, glanced out the window in surprise. By some crazy stroke of luck, a robbery was happening right on the crosswalk. With her heart of gold, she shouted, Hurry, help them. When she saw his indifferent face, she urged him frantically. Hey, go help. Wang Zheng immediately pulled off a series of expert driving maneuvers. Shishi in the passenger seat could only gape, Whoa, before getting a face full of wind. The black car weaved through the crowd and screeched to a halt right in front of the two thieves. The car door flew open, and he lunged out without a second thought to do the right thing. He delivered a lightning-fast kick to one of their faces. A mid-air spinning kick sent the guy flying into oblivion. Wang Zheng's boot then paid a visit to the other guy's chin. The kick sent him soaring high and far. The stolen bag, now free, fell toward the ground. He casually reached out and caught it with one arm. Vu Alien ran up, overflowing with gratitude. Thank you so much. I cannot thank you enough. She handed him a business card. I am Vu Alien, the chairwoman of Likong Beauty Center. Here is my card. I will definitely find a way to repay you for today. Wang Zheng replied humbly, I just did what anyone would do, ma'am. She immediately shook her head. No, you are being too modest. In this day and age, someone with your skills and passion is incredibly rare. Out of nowhere, a strange girl casually brushes past Thi without a care. Excuse me, coming through. Before long, he was surrounded by women even more than a pop idol. Don't push. Give me an autograph, please. Me first. Wang Zheng signals a helpless SOS. Shangguan TT, help me out over here. She decisively turns a blind eye and ignores him. Who told you to act so cool while catching a thief? You invited this attention, so enjoy it yourself. He patiently tries to please the crowd. Don't rush. One at a time, please. But inside, he's complaining. Didn't I just catch one thief? Is all this autograph signing really necessary? Is it that big of a deal? Luckily, Bat Fam arrives just in time to save him. Police business. Everyone, move aside. Hey kid, you're being charged with assault causing injury. We need to verify some key details of this case, so come with me to the station to give a statement. Thi immediately steps in to defend her man. He's being charged with assault? He was doing a good deed. Wang Zheng, staying calm, asks, "Is it the Binjiang district station?" The guy avoids eye contact while confirming. "Yes, that's the one. I'm very busy, so cooperate quickly." She gives him the cold shoulder and grabs Wang Zheng's hand to leave. "We're busy too. We don't have time to go to the station with you. Wang Zheng, let's go. Han Jingye is waiting for us for dinner." Batfam grabs Wang Zheng's shoulder, his expression darkening. "You're coming to the station today, whether you like it or not." Feeling something is off, Wang Zheng tilts his head with a forced smile. What the hell is going on here? With a simple grapple and throw, Wang Zheng tosses Batfam into the air as easily as if he were a toy. The crowd witnesses the scene and starts gossiping. He hit a cop. What are you all just standing there for? Call the police. Isn't that a cop lying on the ground? Right then, Alien yells a warning while calling the authorities on her phone. He's not a cop. He's a fake. Realizing the jig is up, Batfam clicks his tongue in annoyance. I've been made. A foot steps firmly on his stomach to stop him from escaping. Wang Zheng looks down in disgust, exposing the guy's true colors. Kid, if you want to play cop to help your buddy, fine. But trying to get revenge on me? You've got guts? Too bad your acting sucks. Batfam is fuming with rage. Alien arrives quickly with the real officers of the law. The thief is over here. One of them makes a solemn promise. Rest assured, ma'am, we won't let these thieves get away. And regarding the directors, I'll leave that to you. She doesn't sweat the small stuff. I know what to do. You boys worked hard today. Wang Zheng is shocked when he realizes Alien's true identity. The police director's wife? Then she turns to thank him. Oh, thank you so much for today. Do you have a business card, young man? We'd like to repay your kindness later. He rubs the back of his neck, feeling a bit awkward. Oh, I'm just a lowly bodyguard. I don't have a card. But I do have WeChat. She smiles and suggests, perfect, let's add each other on WeChat then. Thi, losing her patience, urges him on. Wang Zheng, hurry up, Han Jingye is waiting for us. He calmly finishes the exchange with Alien and replies softly, yeah, I'm coming. Once everything is settled, Wang Zheng waves a final goodbye. She calls out after him, let me know, if you ever need anything, don't be a stranger. Already thinking about playing matchmaker, she thinks. Wang Zheng, huh? Looks like he's not even 27 yet. He'd be a great match for my little An. No, I need to call her right away. Night falls over the city skyscrapers as the full moon casts a soft silver glow over everything. Inside a traditional restaurant that's still open, the rich aroma of food blends with the lively chatter of guests, creating a cozy vibe. Wang Zheng is showing off his expert slicing skills, his focus intense as he works. In no time, several beautifully arranged plates of food are set on the table. Jingye is incredibly impressed by his skill. Wang Zheng, you're amazing. Can you teach me? If I can master this, I'll open a roast duck shop. I'll definitely be the absolute master of roast duck in all of China. He thinks to himself, here this girl goes again, but keeps his polite smile on the outside. You girls should eat up. If you don't want it, I'll finish it all myself. Thi and Jingye both guard their plates like they're afraid he'll steal them. Who said I'm not eating? I want seconds. Suddenly, a hand gently pushes a plate forward. Only Sheng Fei makes an excuse to refuse. I don't have much of an appetite today. I can't eat another bite, you guys help yourselves. Wang Zheng doesn't think much of it and keeps enjoying his own cooking. Thanks. Then, she asks a question that catches him off guard. But Wang Zheng, the way you carve and eat roast duck is exactly like my father. Do you actually know him? His name is Thin Tai Siu. Vuong Tran quickly took a sip of water, his calm demeanor hiding a storm of secrets as he began to explain. How could I possibly know your father? I am just a guy from the countryside. I do not know anyone here in the capital. This left Tin Da incredibly curious. Why was Thin Phi suddenly asking about this? Had not her father passed away years ago? Tin Da, sitting across from her, immediately signaled for silence with her finger. Shh, stop talking. Thin Phi then calmly explained everything in detail. I am so sorry. I totally ruined the mood. It is nothing, really. I just felt like the way Vuong Tran eats looks exactly like my father. He stayed silent for a moment, not saying a single word in response. Just then, a loud, shouting voice suddenly rang out. If there are no seats left, then kick some customers out. How dare you make someone like Kwang Dongfong wait? Seeing the poor waiter getting harassed by that aggressive group, Tingda's delicate eyebrows furrowed in pure annoyance. Do you want me to tell your boss to turn you into a stir-fry? There sure are a lot of classless rich kids these days. Wang Tran judged them silently. Did they really think having a few dirty bucks made them special? After settling into their seats, Dongfang suddenly found himself drawn to the lively chatter coming from Wang Tran's table. Tinda was even playfully trying to feed Wang Tran a piece of duck. Seeing that, the guy's expression immediately turned perverted, his mouth practically watering. Whoa, they are all beauties. Looks like coming here today was the right call. However, since he was naturally shy around girls, he turned to his buddies to scheme. Upon hearing this, Neep Min leaned close to Lok Ham and started whispering. Left with no choice, the other person sheepishly agreed. All right, fine. A second later, he walked over to Wang Tran's table, pressing his hands together in a very formal gesture. I am so sorry, but the restaurant is packed right now. We have 4 guests who would like to share your table. Would that be okay? Tinda waved her hands frantically in protest. No, it is not okay. We paid for our own meal. Why on earth would we want to sit with those creeps? You want us to have an eyesore while we eat? Lok Ham persisted, hoping she would change her mind. Miss, maybe you should think about it a little more. Those guys are not just nobody. However, before he could finish, Dongfang and his gang officially cut him off. Hey cuties, there is no space left in the hall. Mind if we join you? We can all get to know each other and be friends. That is when Tinda finally looked up at the annoying group. The guy smugly started flaunting his status. I am Kwang Dongfang, the CEO of Bat Diem Entertainment. Getting to know such beauties is the honor of a lifetime. Next to him was none other than the young master, Tu Neep Min, of the Han Nguyen group. She quickly passed the buck to Wang Tran. I am honored too, but you will have to ask him. He is our brother-in-law. Should we share the table? If he says yes, then it is fine. Poor guy was just sitting there, not even getting a bite before being forced to carry the whole load. I was just minding my own business, and now I am being thrown under the bus. Wang Tran pouted, secretly annoyed. Nice one, Thuong Quan Titi, dragging more trouble my way. Whatever, I do not like these trashy rich kids anyway. Since he already disliked them and had some backing, he coldly rejected them to their faces. We are not interested. Don't come here and ruin our appetite. As soon as he finished, Dongfang lost his temper and slammed his hand down on the table with a loud bang. His deep-seated arrogance made him spit out a line that would bury him. You are choosing the hard way over the easy way, I see. I will make sure your life in the capital becomes a living hell. He thought he sounded cool, but then he signed his own death warrant with the next line. If you know what is good for you, get lost. Otherwise, I will make sure your parents suffer a slow and painful death. Wang Tran could not take it anymore. He turned and gave a soft warning. Ladies, if you are afraid of blood, you better close your eyes right now. Then he stood up, while Thi and Tinda watched in shock. Wang Tran walked straight over, grabbed Dongfang by the sleeve, and dragged him along like a stray dog. The guy did not even resist. He just stood there frozen as he watched Wang Tran pick up the duck knife from earlier. Before he could even finish his sentence, the sharp blade flashed with a cold, metallic glint. And then, a scene unfolded that was definitely not for the faint of heart. Dongfang let out a blood-curdling scream, looking down in horror at the new artwork carved into the back of his hand. But he was no singer. That high note he hit gave Wang Tran such a headache that he had to shut the guy's mouth for him. He looked down coldly at the man slumped beside him, stealing the very lines he was about to say. Don't bother with that, I will get you later talk. When I have a grudge, I settle it right here, right now. It was as if our main character had eyes in the back of his head. He immediately shut down the henchmen's movements before they could even start. And as for you guys, if you dare call for backup or make a scene, you will end up just like him. Having dealt with the potential threat, Wang Tran turned his focus back to his prey. Don't look at me with those puppy dog eyes. You insulted my parents. The fact that I did not cut out your tongue is pure mercy. This scene triggered the inner sadist in Jingye. She clapped her hands in pure, manic excitement. Wang Zheng, I'm starting to like being around you more and more. Lu Han, on the other hand, was completely bewildered by her reaction. He felt like he'd accidentally applied for a job at a mental asylum. In total desperation, he turned to the newcomer for help. Was he a bad manager? Hao Ran ignored the bloody mess on the floor and focused on his duty with professional politeness. Mr. Wang Zheng, a guest in the Emperor Suite, would like to invite you over. Also, the bill for this table has already been charged to his account. Those 2 words made Jingye gasp in shock. The Emperor Suite. She rushed over and grabbed his arm, her eyes wide with curiosity. That's the private room reserved for world leaders at Quanjude. Even my father can't just walk in there for a meal. And you were actually invited? Do you know those people? Shishi just flipped her hair, refusing to change her mind about him. He's just a con artist. Sheng Fei didn't agree or disagree, silently keeping her own thoughts to herself. Only the innocent and naive Jing Ye was excited, playfully nudging Wang Zheng. Oh, hurry up and go. Don't keep them waiting. To be honest, I've never seen the Emperor's suite myself. Wang Zheng sheepishly replied, Hey, stop pushing me. But before he could get far, Hao Ran stepped in his way. I'm very sorry, but the guest only invited Mr. Wang Zheng. Jing Ye's face fell when she realized she couldn't tag along. She immediately turned on the waterworks, acting like a pouting kitten. Aw, but I really want to see what the Emperor's suite looks like. Sheng Fei stood up to pull her friend back. Xiao Ye, stop causing trouble. You can't just barge into the Emperor's suite. Wang Zheng didn't want to drag this pink dead weight along either. He gave them a gentle smile and told them, It might be a bit inappropriate for you ladies to go in. Just wait for me here. Seeing that everyone was against her, Jing Ye finally gave up. Once things were settled on this side, Hao Ran turned his attention to the other mess. He looked coldly at the man who was still pinned to the table. Mr. Kwong, the guest in the Emperor's suite has requested that you and your friends leave the restaurant. Otherwise, he can't guarantee that things won't get ugly at 8 Point Entertainment tonight. Whether Dongfeng was afraid the group would go bankrupt or he just realized his partner in crime was gone, he grabbed the knife and muttered, Fine. Then, without a hint of hesitation, he ripped the blade out of the back of his hand. His henchmen watched in absolute horror. Looking like a tragic hero in a drama, he spat out a final threat. Wang Zheng, I'll be waiting for you. Then he scurried away like a rat in the rain. He barked an order to his men as they fled. We're leaving. Wang Zheng watched them go, already planning their downfall in his head. He was just another pawn that needed to be dealt with quickly. Soon, the two of them left the chaos behind and headed toward the Emperor's suite. Hao Ran stopped outside the door and gave a respectful bow. Mr. Wang Zheng, please, after you. He didn't ask any questions and simply gave a short reply. Yeah. The heavy wooden door swung open. A tall, sturdy figure was already standing there, as if he had been waiting for an eternity. Wang Zheng, you're finally here. Seeing Ming Hao didn't surprise Wang Zheng at all. Huh, I figured it was you. With the blood of a soldier still pumping through his veins, Ming Hao immediately snapped to attention. Captain Nightwolf, reporting for duty. Time seemed to freeze for a moment. Wang Zheng stood there like a statue before quickly shifting back to his indifferent expression. Neither of us are soldiers right now, so there's no need for the formalities. Sit down. As soon as they were settled, Ming Hao let out his long-suppressed emotions. Captain, you're finally back. You have no idea. For the past 4 years, every time I felt like giving up, I thought of you guys. His eyes were now filled with a deep, burning resentment. The only thing that kept me standing and got me to where I am today was our brotherhood and my hatred for them. Hearing this, Wang Zheng's mind drifted back to the past. The memories of that day haunted him constantly. Captain, don't worry about me, just go. Ming Hao's voice continued to drone in his ear. If it wasn't for those traitors, our Dragon-scale special forces, no amount of enemies could have ever backed us into a corner like this. The more he talked, the angrier he got. That was a total setup to destroy Dragon-scale. If old Chang hadn't stayed behind to cover us, he wouldn't have. He let out a heavy, sorrowful sigh. After that incident, I went into hiding in the capital's underworld. Chang Zi is still missing, and we've lost contact while you went abroad. A moment later, his face lit up as he changed the subject. Oh right, after you left, an assassin known as the Evil King of the East appeared in the global underworld. The image of Wang Zheng immediately flashed through his mind. I heard he did it all on his own. In just 1 year, he effortlessly completed some of the biggest contracts on the underworld's hit list. He went from a complete unknown to the top 10 assassins in the world. Everyone guessed he was Asian, but no one has ever seen his face. Mostly because anyone who did see him ended up dead. However, Ming Hao was absolutely certain about one thing. I knew it was you. No one else has the skills to pull off those kinds of legendary solo operations. I thought you were just taking on dangerous missions as a way to hide. I didn't think you'd actually come back. Wang Zheng didn't let him continue his monologue and cut him off. Actually, the old commander was the one who sent me back this time. Hearing that, the other man immediately went into skeptical mode. The old commander sent you back? What is he planning? But the guy just scratched his head blankly. I have no idea. He just told me to be a bodyguard for the daughter of the Shangguan family first. Even so, Vuong Tran knew that a storm was brewing. Perhaps it was finally time for the old man to make his move. The Dragon Scale unit was framed and scattered 4 years ago. There was no way he would just let that slide. Minhao unconsciously clenched his fists while his teeth ground together. If the old commander is preparing to strike, then our chances of revenge are much more certain. But his friend immediately threw a bucket of cold water on his excitement. Minhao, we will definitely settle the score for what happened 4 years ago, but not right now. From beginning to end, Vuong Tran's expression remained perfectly calm. Right now, we are still no match for them. Not daring to talk back, the man nodded. I understand what you mean, boss. The two of them then shifted the conversation to a different topic. Let's talk about something happy. I found one of our people. A family member? Do we really still have family left? Kwang Tu has surfaced. It's old Than's daughter. By the way, Thin Phi, who was it that wanted you to kidnap Shangguan Titi? Not long after, the moonlight shone down on the Thien Bin San villa. As soon as they stepped inside, Tin Da started yapping away in his ear. She had spent the whole trip using both threats and bribes, but she couldn't pry a single word out of him. Vuong Tran, did you used to work for the Intelligence Bureau or something? Your mouth is so tight. She didn't seem ready to give up as she switched to using her feminine charms. Oh. Come on. Just tell me, who exactly was in that Emperor suite? If you don't tell me, I'm going to stay up all night thinking about it. My assets will start to sag, and then you won't have any eye candy left to enjoy in the future. Vuong Tran looked visibly fed up with her. Girl, stop talking such nonsense. He coldly brushed her hand off his body. You said it yourself. You want to know the secret of the Emperor suite. How can that be worth such a small trade? But then he put on a creepy, threatening face to scare her. If you make me feel good, maybe I'll consider telling you. But Thithi suddenly jumped in, scolding and making a scene. You pervert! The guy quickly grabbed her arm. Where is your mind going? I meant I was going to take a relaxing shower. If it weren't for a certain young lady's trashy ideas tonight, would I have even needed to get physical with those rich brats and end up covered in sweat? Vuong Tran's words were as sharp as a knife, leaving her speechless with rage. You! He coldly turned his back, ending the conversation. I'm going to shower. Tin Da watched him go with a bored expression, annoyed that he found another excuse to dodge the question. She then turned to her friend to dig for info. Thi, Vuong Tran lives in the same room as you. Do you really know nothing about his social circle? But Thi was also at a loss. Ever since he arrived, he's been like my shadow. I've never seen him meet anyone. If it weren't for today, I would have thought he didn't have any friends at all. While they were gossiping, Thin Phi walked over and pulled Tin Da's hand. Tu Da, it's getting late. We should head home. She still wanted to linger, but she was immediately hit with a lecture. Regarding what we want to know, I already asked Uncle Shangguan. He only said that there are some things where being in the dark is actually for the best. I trust Uncle Shangguan's decision. Besides, regarding that Emperor suite matter, let's not get ourselves involved in that messy situation anymore. But that only made Titi feel more frustrated. Being in the dark is for the best? What kind of secret is this Vuong Tran hiding? A short while later, the bedroom door slowly creaked open. Determined to get to the bottom of this, Thi was ready to do some sneakiness. Taking advantage of the fact that the guy hadn't returned yet, she quickly discovered something suspicious. Damn it, why did he push this suitcase so far back? To her surprise, she was caught red-handed by Vuong Tran. What do you think you're doing? She immediately bolted upright, her cheeks flushing red when she saw him. Oh man, he was wearing nothing but a towel, standing boldly right in front of her, scaring the life out of Thi. You! Thi screamed in shock. You pervert! Why aren't you wearing any clothes? Vuong Tran simply replied, This is my room. I'll do whatever I want in here. On the contrary, look at you. He stepped directly toward her and lifted her chin, whispering suggestively, Sneaking into my room in the middle of the night and talking big about giving out benefits, did you want to reward this humble little bodyguard? Only then did she realize something was very wrong, and she frantically pushed him away. I just took a wrong turn, okay? You creep. I'm out of here. Vuong Tran still tried to argue his point. You're the one who barged into my room. You're the creep here. Thi left in a huff, not forgetting to throw a warning back at him. Just you wait. Tomorrow, I'm going to tell my dad to have your head. Suddenly, the suitcase exposed under the bed caught his attention. He stood there for a moment, mumbling to himself, "Is she really that interested in me?" Then Vuong Tran knelt down and opened it to check. Inside were just clothes, with a single photograph lying right on top. He picked it up, gazing at the faces captured in the picture. The scene then shifted to a random coffee shop. He was sitting there, calmly sipping water inside the shop. Involuntarily, his gaze drifted toward the entrance of the shopping mall across the street. At that moment, Vuong Tran recalled something from the past. The perfume on her body wasn't just any ordinary scent. He let out a faint smile, seemingly having realized something very important from his own history. To be exact, it's a type of neurotoxin that's nearly impossible for anyone to detect. But with prolonged use, the motor nerves become permanently paralyzed, leaving the person completely at the mercy of others. These words leave Thin Phi absolutely stunned. Even so, she still finds the whole thing hard to believe. How is that possible? I bought this perfume myself at a specialized boutique. Just as she's processing this, the phone on the table suddenly rings. He snaps back to reality and picks it up to check the new message. It's the intelligence file he requested. But honestly, Phuong Nai Ni's purchase records over the past 6 months look completely normal. It looks like a dead end. Vuong Tran calculates his next move, realizing the main store left absolutely no trace behind. The records were handled so perfectly that not a single leak exists. It seems whoever is targeting Thin Phi is no ordinary amateur. Suddenly, a woman approaches and asks, "Excuse me, do you mind if I sit here?" He scans her from head to toe, giving her a quiet evaluation. Not bad, a solid 85 out of 100, but he keeps his face neutral. "And you are?" She quickly takes a seat across from him and introduces herself. "Hello, my name is Truong Min Kai. Here is my business card. And may I ask your name?" He replies calmly, "Vuong Tran." She then hands over another card. Vuong Tran takes it and looks it over. "So, you're the eldest daughter of the Truong family. I assume you aren't here to demand justice for your brother, are you?" Min Kai is quick to deny it. "No, Min Tone brought that beating on himself. I'm here today because I want to ask you for 2 favors." He seems quite satisfied with her attitude. It's rare to meet a beautiful woman who is this reasonable. "Not bad, go on." She doesn't hesitate to get straight to the point. "Director Thin Phi is a rare talent for the Lam Hai group. I hope you can help me convince her not to leave Lam Hai just because of Min Tone's rudeness." She then slides a folder over to Vuong Tran. "This is a contract for the transfer of 3% of Lam Hai shares. As long as Thin Phi agrees to stay, all of this belongs to her. I also personally guarantee that Min Tone won't ever dare to disrespect her again." He simply fires back at her. "Do you really think I don't know her value?" Thin Phi recently won the top prize in an international fashion competition. With a reputation like hers, why would she stay in a toxic place for a few measly shares? Besides, I can't stand that Min Tone guy. Knowing it won't be that easy to convince him, Min Kai decides to offer an even bigger incentive, 10% of Lam Hai shares. Thin Phi will become the largest shareholder of Lam Hai, with annual dividends of about 300 million. So, what do you think? Upon hearing this, he can only throw his hands up in mock surrender. 300 million? Okay, I'm swayed. But I don't have the authority to make decisions for Thin Phi. And honestly, the reason you're here, it still feels a bit lacking. She cuts him off by placing a valuable object on the table. This is a nationwide platinum membership card for Celestial Palace International. All expenses are fully covered. There are only 10 of these cards in the entire country, and I only have 2. Please don't think poorly of us, and please stop pursuing my brother's mistakes. Vuong Tran would be an idiot to turn this down. He suddenly becomes unusually friendly. "Miss Trong, you're certainly generous and easy to talk to. Now, what's the second favor?" Min Ki explains without hesitation. "The second thing concerns my brother's face. Min Tone's face is incredibly swollen, but it doesn't hurt or itch at all. He can't feel a thing, even when he presses on it. Our private doctors are completely stumped. I figured since you, Mr. Vuong, have such a unique technique, you must also have a way to cure him. Min Tone has learned his lesson. I'm asking you, Mr. Vuong, to please show him some mercy." Hearing this, Vuong Tran falls into silence for a moment. Shortly after, he holds up the premium card and considers whether he can squeeze a bit more out of her. Nothing in this world happens without a reason. I'm the only one with the cure, but I need to see just how much sincerity you have, Miss Truong. She doesn't shy away from being blunt. When you slapped Min Tone that day, had you already planned out your revenge for everything that followed? If that's the case, your foresight is truly terrifying. Vuong Tran sets the card back down and says, "Well said. Think it over carefully." At this point, Min Kai has no choice but to back down. "I'll treat you to dinner, at a place of your choosing. Is that condition enough?" He immediately brightens up. "You're quite confident, Miss Truong. But I accept. And as for the location, I have one more condition. During dinner, you must agree to one request of mine. Don't worry, I won't cross any lines." Finally, Vuong Tran stands up to close the deal. "After that meal, consider the grudge between me and Min Tone settled." With everything settled, the two of them walk out of the coffee shop across from the Lam Hai shopping center. Min Kai bows once more to thank Vuong Tran. "Regarding Min Tone, thank you very much, Mr. Vuong. It's a rare sight to see him respond to anyone with such politeness." He gives a small smile, turns around, and walks away. "Not at all. I really like the way Miss Mingqi handles things. I hope we have many more chances to work together in the future." Watching her walk away, he couldn't help but gossip to himself. They were born from the same parents, so why are they so different? Are they really sisters? Only then did Wang Zheng take a closer look at the business card he had just received. Tiangong International, huh? I should go there and see for myself when I have some free time. It wasn't until the sky turned a deep orange that Sheng Fei finally finished her shift. As soon as she stepped outside, she ran into an old acquaintance. "Wang Zheng, what are you doing here?" He politely tucked his phone away and replied with a smile. "Shangguan Shishi's father is here today, so she doesn't need my protection. I just wanted to come by and check out the Blue Sea Group, the experts in men's fashion. I was hoping to steal a couple of suits." Sheng Fei didn't play along with the lame joke. As she got into the car, she asked the question that had been on her mind. "Zhang Mingqi just approached me to sign a new stock contract, and I did. Does this have anything to do with you?" Wang Zheng didn't say yes or no, only offering a vague comment. That Zhang Mingqi, she's definitely a ruthless one. To her, this evasive attitude was the clearest answer possible. "Why are you helping me?" Caught in the act, he didn't bother lying and just laughed it off. "Don't overthink it. I just think you're a valuable talent, that's all." Since it benefited her, Sheng Fei didn't push any further. "Let me treat you to a late-night snack then. Consider it a thank you for your help this time." Wang Zheng breathed a secret sigh of relief, feeling like he dodged a bullet. This girl is incredibly sharp. Next time, I need to dial it back a bit, or she'll figure out my connection to old Cheng in a heartbeat. But she caught that look in his eyes. Before long, the sun went down, making way for the loud and bustling nightlife. The people drinking nearby weren't even focused on their own food. They were staring at the table over here. How could a guy like that land such a beauty? How am I still single? He's sitting next to a goddess and eating like a total pig? What kind of guy is he? Just wait until she dumps him. Sheng Fei wasn't some oblivious girl, and the staring was getting awkward, so she politely spoke up to remind him. "You should really slow down. It's not good for your stomach." Unfortunately, Wang Zheng didn't see any issue with it. "I can only work if I'm full. It's how I know I'm still alive." Suddenly, a scream pierced the air, cutting their conversation short. "Who are you calling a creep, little girl? I told you, if you just finish this bottle of wine, I'll order 20 dishes for you right now. Stop playing hard to get." That guy, Di Li, acted like his cheap meal was the deal of a lifetime. His attitude made Liu Xuan feel nothing but disgust. "I'm not going to sell myself for a few plates of food." The lackeys nearby chimed in to kiss their boss's feet. Their words only made her angrier as she gripped her glass. Being noticed by Boss Li is a blessing. Other women would kill for this opportunity. Before he could finish, Liu Xuan threw her drink straight into Di Li's face. "In your dreams, you creep." But the liquid in that glass might as well have been gasoline for his temper. "How dare you? You bitch!" He lunged forward and slapped her hard across the face. The loud crack of the slap sent the crowd into a panic. The girl had been hit, but someone else was already rushing to intervene. "Shh, don't you dare mess with Boss Li unless you want to get stabbed. Just eat your food and pretend you didn't see anything." Sheng Fei couldn't stand it anymore and stood up abruptly. But before she could do a thing, Wang Zheng grabbed her hand to stop her. He looked completely reliable as he spoke. "Let me handle this." On the other side, Liu Xuan used every bit of strength she had to grab a beer bottle and charge. But how could a young woman win against a street thug? With just one kick, she was sent flying backward. Liu Xuan lay on the ground in agony, clutching her stomach. Suddenly, a deep male voice spoke up, asking a completely unrelated question. "What's your name?" Surprisingly, she actually answered. Maybe because the main character's aura was just that strong. "Liu Xuan, a sophomore at Capital Normal University. Who are you? Wang Zheng ignored her question and asked another instead. Who I am doesn't matter. After everything that just happened, are you scared? Liu Xuan didn't hesitate, letting the stranger help her up as she answered firmly. Of course not. Those words successfully piqued Wang Zheng's interest. Good. Then, he gently placed the empty beer bottle back into Liu Xuan's hand. While she was still in shock, Wang Zheng pointed right at Di Li and gave her an order. Go hit him. Wang Zheng's move set the whole place buzzing with gossip. Hey, is this guy crazy? Does he have any idea who Meng Di Li is? Boss Li can make one phone call and have 100 thugs with steel pipes down here in no time. Doesn't he realize he's sending that beauty to her death? Don't do it. But contrary to everyone's expectations, Liu Xuan looked at him with deep emotion. Thank you. She gathered all her courage, gripped the bottle tight, and marched straight forward, ignoring the warnings from the crowd. Don't be reckless, girl. Are they all insane? Di Li glanced at Liu Xuan and sneered with contempt. You really have a death wish. Suddenly, a hand flicked out a razor-sharp needle. He gasped as the tiny object flew through the air and pierced his body. What's happening? Di Li stood frozen to the spot, unable to move a single muscle. Right at that moment, Liu Xuan smashed a glass bottle over his head with all her might. The thugs screamed in horror. How dare you hit Loi? That guy must be using some kind of black magic. That's when Tuang Due stepped forward, brandishing a weapon like a madman. Let me handle them. Seeing the situation, Vuong Tran has suddenly had a brilliant idea. Before anyone knew what hit them, Dien Loi froze in fear as the kid lunged straight for him. In a split second, Vuong Tran grabbed him by the pants. He effortlessly lifted Dien Loi into the air, making the guy shriek. What the hell are you doing? Next thing you know, Vuong Tran hurled Dien Loi right at the charging Tuang Due. He accidentally plunged his weapon right into the boss's gut. Once he realized what he'd done, he started shaking like a leaf. Boss, I didn't mean it. As Dien Loi collapsed, clutching his wound, Tuang Due let out a terrified scream. The bystanders went into a complete frenzy. Someone's hurt, call the police. Get an ambulance down here, now. Taking advantage of the chaos, Vuong Tran grabbed Liu Xuan's hand. Follow me. Dien Loi growled as he watched them hop into a car. Get that license plate. I'm gonna make that kid pay for every bit of this. Meanwhile, Thin Phi was already in the driver's seat. She waited until they were settled, before speaking in a serious tone. A bloody brawl in public is no small matter. Vuong Tran, Liu Xuan felt a wave of guilt wash over her. I'm so sorry. This is all my fault. You just messed with Dien Loi, the biggest snake in this area. I don't even know how to thank you for saving me. Seeing her distress, Vuong Tran spoke gently to calm her down. It's fine. I already left myself an out. In a few days, that Dien Loi guy will be crawling back to find me. But you probably can't keep this part-time job anymore. You should just focus on your studies at school. Thin Phi glanced through the rearview mirror, trying to read the mood in the back seat. She spoke up softly. What's the deal? Are you working because things are tough at home, or just for the life experience? Liu Xuan lowered her head sadly. I wanted to experience the real world and learn how to deal with people. Vuong Tran stayed silent, not knowing what to say. Just then, she leaned forward to point the way. The next turn is Capital Normal University. You can just drop me off there. A moment later, the car pulled up to the campus gates. Liu Xuan stepped out and waved goodbye. Thank you both so much for everything today. Once they were alone, Thin Phi started teasing him. Wow, you've really got some moves with the ladies, don't you? She didn't want to let you go, practically begging for your number. Vuong Tran crossed his arms, acting helpless. What can I say? You just can't stop a guy with this much charm. She let out a giggle. Look at you, Mr. Hotshot. She was about to drive off when he stopped her. Wait a second, don't move yet. Vuong Tran watched the scene unfolding ahead. What's going on over there? Chu Fong was blocking Liu Xuan's path. I've got the cars, I've got the houses. I'm being nice and confessing to you, giving you a chance to be with me, and you're just gonna blow me off? He started aggressively grabbing her arm. Fine, if you're gonna be like that, I don't care about being nice anymore. Get in the car, you see the ride, why are you still fighting me? Liu Xuan stood her ground and shoved him back. Stop it, Chu Fong, don't think your dirty money lets you push people around. Let go of me. Suddenly, Vuong Tran reappeared, catching her completely by surprise. Chu Fong barked out in annoyance at the interruption. Who the hell are you? Before he could finish, Vuong Tran sprayed something directly into his face, leaving him choking and sputtering. What did you do to me? His lackey immediately lunged forward, looking for a fight. Hey, what's the problem? but Lu Xuan ignored them and ran toward the safest person she knew. Wang Tran just held up that terrifying spray bottle, making the lackey flinch and back away. Go ahead, guys, keep doing your thing. Once the situation was under control, he finally spoke. This is for you. It's a custom-made Wang family pepper spray. If anyone messes with you, just give it a little spritz. The effect kicks in after a few hours, and it's 100 times stronger than the normal stuff. Then, Wang Tran added a gentle reminder. It's late. Get home, safe. Lu Xuan's cheeks turned a bright shade of pink. Okay. But then, the shy girl suddenly pulled a complete 180-degree turn. I still want to teach this jerk a lesson. She went back to give Chu Fong another piece of her mind. Cough, cough, cough. Now, no matter how hard he tried to talk, nothing but painful gasps came out. Lu Xuan ignored his suffering and gave her savior a wink. Thanks again for today. See you around. Wang Tran couldn't help but laugh at how adorably fierce she was. She really knew how to kick a man while he was down. This girl definitely reminded him of his younger self. Meanwhile, in a lavish villa under the moonlight, a woman was sobbing over Chu Fong's condition. First, it was your vice governor seat, and now some random college girl thinks she can bully our little Fong? Mr. Chu, you cannot let this slide. Chu Kai-hoa, the chief secretary of the capital's administrative office, was currently lost in a deep whirlpool of thought. There was no way anyone at school didn't know about Tu Fong's family background. Who would actually have the guts to lay a hand on him? The vice governor's seat was just snatched away, and now Tu Fong is in trouble. Could this be a calculated move by that mysterious figure? Without sparing his son another glance, he decisively turned away to call an ambulance, making it his first priority to get Tu Fong to the hospital. This cold efficiency made Tu Fong feel incredibly neglected. Wait, Dad, asterisk, cough, 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 asterisk. Meanwhile, Di Pu stayed by his side, offering constant comfort. Don't be scared, son. Your father will help you, and so will I. A murderous glint even flashed within her eyes as she spoke. That woman. I won't let her live a peaceful life in this city. As soon as those words left her mouth, she decided to take immediate action. Hello, Judge Tran. It's Di Pu. I have a favor to ask. It's regarding this matter. Early the next morning, the warm sunlight flooded the entire area. Min Kai wore a standard professional smile as she introduced someone to Wang Tran. This is my personal designer. He's going to give you a professional makeover. She didn't forget to throw him a flirtatious wink as she spoke. Wang Tran's words were sweeter than honey. Miss Min Kai really provides excellent service, even going as far as coordinating my look for the party. She clearly didn't want to accept the compliment, fuming on the inside. Isn't this all because you're so impulsive? One phone call, and he insisted on going to the party with her. Before she could even agree, he had already shown up at her office, leaving her with no way to refuse. She ended the conversation with her next words. I'll leave the two of you to it then. I'm going to change my clothes. A while later, Min Kai stepped out with a completely new look. As Wang Tran stood there, the staff members updated her. Mr. Wang is waiting, but they were interrupted by a high-pitched scream, as if someone had just seen their favorite idol. He's so handsome. That caught her attention immediately. Wang Tran, who was long used to being the center of attention, simply said in a calm tone, I'm telling you, there's really no need for such a big reaction. After that, Min Kai couldn't help but let out a sigh of genuine admiration. I didn't expect you to actually be able to surprise people like this. Of course, being a professional flirt like him, he would never miss a chance to lay it on thick. I'm a gentleman in the living room and a master in the kitchen. I guarantee if you try my cooking, you'll fall for me instantly. She didn't hesitate to fire back. Really? Then when I have time, I'll have to see for myself if I'll actually fall for you. With that, she urged him on with a smile that could outshine the sun. Let's head to Nha Lan Bar. I think I'm going to stun everyone today. Wang Tran's eyes were already glued to Min Ki, as if they were stuck with superglue. Man, she really is a masterpiece of nature. A real man-killer. At Nha Lan Bar, the high-end banquet hall was filled with guests mingling and chatting. In one corner, several ladies surrounded a gentleman, chatting excitedly. Young master, to come have a drink with us. That man was Tu Thien Yen, the eldest heir of the Tu group. I have a date with Min Kai, and I have other things to attend to. Suddenly, So Thieu Nam, the CEO of the So group, the wealthiest family in the country, overheard this and let out a chuckle. Ha ha ha. When standing next to Miss Min Kai, other girls naturally fall short. Since ancient times, a talented man always belongs with a beautiful woman. It's no wonder, young master, to only has eyes for Miss Min Kai. Those words successfully irritated the girls standing behind him, but Tu Nam was very pleased with himself. Mr. So, you flatter me. Suddenly, someone shouted. Miss Min Kai is here. Tian Yan quickly walked toward his true love. Min Kai? The excitement on his face slowly began to fade. It was replaced by a stunned, speechless expression. The crowd was just as shocked when they saw Min Kai and Vuong Tran entering arm in arm. Truong Min Kai brought an outsider here herself? Who is that guy? Isn't this just a move to embarrass young Master Tu in front of everyone? All the whispering reached her ears, making Min Kai feel a bit awkward. Vuong Tran, what on earth are you trying to do? He didn't explain much, only giving her a firm reminder. Keep your arm linked with mine, don't let go. This is that small request I mentioned earlier. You care about other things, but that doesn't mean there's anything going on between us. At this moment, Min Kai was sighing in frustration internally. Sigh, anyone with eyes can see Tian Yan has feelings for me. I haven't publicly rejected him all these years out of fear of his family's power in the capital, but Vuong Tran's move is clearly forcing me to publicly reject Tian Yan and go head-to-head with him, isn't it? Just as she was about to pull her hand away, Vuong Tran stopped her. Don't move. Don't let go. That action sent Min Kai's narcissism to a whole new level. Vuong Tran, what is he really up to? Is he just trying to satisfy his vanity by acting like a beautiful woman's boyfriend? Suddenly, Tian Yan appeared, intending to intimidate the intruder. Na Lan, Min Kai, you're here. I wonder who this friend is. She gave him a polite, standard social smile before introducing him. This is my friend. Tian Yan's gaze instantly turned cold as he stared at their tightly linked arms. Vuong Tran, the young master of the Vuong family, looked deep in thought. The Vuong family? Was he talking about the powerful Vuong clan from Hangzhou? But Vuong Tran immediately shut that down, fabricating a whole new lineage for himself. No, we are the Vuong family from Philadelphia, USA. Standing beside him, Min Kai was practically dying of laughter. Meanwhile, he was busy putting on a Hollywood-level professional acting performance. Min Kai and I met when she was studying in the States, but it has been years since we last saw each other. She decided to stay quiet and wait for the show to unfold. Not bad, Vuong Tran. I didn't expect you to be such a smooth talker when it comes to making things up. I will just play along for now and see where this goes. By now, Tian Yan seemed to believe it a bit. Oh, so that is how it is. I wonder if Mr. Vuong is in the capital for business or pleasure. Despite reaching for a glass of wine, Vuong Tran did not stop talking for a second. 20 years ago, the Vuong family in Philadelphia bought 2 diamond mines in South Africa, but we never got around to mining them. I came to the capital this time to check on the situation of those mines, basically just doing some market analysis. He did not forget to show some affection to stay in character. Of course, the most important thing was seeing Min Kai. I missed her so much. Min Kai suddenly realized something. The Tu family in China is incredibly powerful, with a massive diamond production line. Even though they control the industry, outsiders do not know the details. How did Vuong Tran know so much? While Vuong Tran spoke professionally, young master, do not you worry. We will not be entering the Chinese market anytime soon. Min Kai switched into detective mode and began making sharp deductions. Is he doing this on purpose? From the start of the banquet, he has been determined to get close to Tian Yan. But what is his true intention? Finally, the conversation ended with a toast. Tian Yan seemed satisfied. I will be waiting at the manor to give young Master Vuong a warm welcome. Vuong Tran also seemed very interested in this new partner. But young master, do not push yourself too hard at work. It can lead to nervous exhaustion, insomnia, and frequent nightmares. Even with your heavy makeup, I can still see the puffiness under your eyes. This comment made him freeze. How did he notice that? Tian Yan's eyes darted around at the smiling faces of the people nearby. Damn it, all these years I have tried so hard to look composed so no one could get the upper hand. I never thought this guy would expose me with just one sentence. He probably did not come here just for a simple investigation. After giving a well-intentioned reminder, Vuong Tran immediately made his exit. Since it is my first time at Ba Lenya, I would like to look around elsewhere. Please excuse us. He let out a playful smirk. He watched the two of them walk away, the Vuong family from Philadelphia. Huh? Interesting. By now it was night, and the moon hung high in the sky. Vuong Tran was sitting in the car. I say, Miss Trung, do you have any idea how lethal that look of yours is? If you have something to say it. Min Ki tilted her head toward him. Did you even get my permission? You used me to get close to Tu Tianyan, and that makes me very unhappy. Do not you think you owe me an explanation? He was not guilty at all, and even dropped a cryptic line. Is not this dinner just a case of us using each other? Are not you planning to use me to achieve some of your own goals too? Min Kai frowned, looking at Vuong Tran with a questioning face. But I do not understand why you are targeting Tu Tianyan specifically. You must know how much power he has in the capital, not to mention his strong military background. He answered quickly without hesitation, because seeing him makes me unhappy. Vuong Tran clenched his fist, a dark, murderous aura radiating from him. Actually, seeing any of the Tu family makes me unhappy. This is a story from many years ago. I must root them out once and for all. A moment later, his car stopped by the lake. Min Kai looked over and continued, Can you tell me the reason now? Before she could finish, he opened the car door and stepped out. She scrambled after him, questioning him as she walked. Why are you telling me all this? Are not you afraid I will sell you out? Vuong Tran rested his hands on the railing, looking into the distance as he explained. There are 2 reasons. First, you are very dedicated to your career. Second, it is because of your mother. To Hugh Han. Hearing this, Min Kai grabbed his hand in shock and suspicion. How do you know my mother? Does she have a connection to the Tu family? He turned to look at her. Your father, Trong Hu Tu, told you that your mother died from bleeding out right after giving birth, did not he? Once again, she was stunned. How do you know that? What does this have to do with the Tu family? Why bring it up now? Vuong Tran frowned, recounting an old story. She fell in love with a poor man, and even had 2 children with him. Because of that, the patriarch of the Tu family felt the family honor was insulted. He used the lives of those 3 to threaten her, forcing Tu Hugh Han to come home. For the sake of her children, she had no choice but to accept. But if Tu Hugh Han returns to the Tu family, she will definitely be the primary heir. With such a massive fortune at stake, her rivals won't just let her walk back in. They'll likely stage some unfortunate accidents to keep her away. Min Kai could almost feel the cold, calculating glares that must have biped her mother. So, what you're saying is, my mother didn't die from complications after childbirth. She was actually murdered by the Tu family? She clenched her fists, staring down at the surface of the lake with a shaky voice. Why on earth should I believe a word you say? She turned around, looking deeply troubled, and demanded an answer. What's your angle? Vuong Tran just shrugged indifferently and gave a short reply. Why don't you go back and ask your father? Then everything will be clear. Not wanting to argue any further, she immediately turned to walk away, but he called out one last thing, team up with me. Let's go to the Tu family together and take back everything that rightfully belongs to you. Min Kai didn't say a word. She just shot a quick glance back before hopping into her car and flooring it, leaving him standing there in the dust. Keeping his cool, he pulled his phone out of his coat pocket. After a few taps, Vuong Tran dialed 001215. Before he could even speak, the person on the other end started shouting so loud it nearly blew out his eardrum. Oh my God, my savior has finally appeared. Have you decided how you want me to pay you back yet? Don't be shy. Even if I had to hand over all of the Vuong Corporation's assets in Philadelphia to you on a silver platter, I'd do it in a heartbeat. Vuong Tran stayed calm and made his proposal. I know you bought 2 diamond mines in South Africa at a low price, but you haven't started mining them yet. I want you to use the full weight of the Vuong Corporation to make a loud entry into the Huaxia market and crush the Tu family's diamond brand. Can you do that? The voice on the other end replied enthusiastically. Of course, no problem at all. You'll definitely see results within 2 months. Then he lowered his voice, offering a sweet suggestion for their operations in Huaxia. I can even introduce you to the perfect person to lead the project. Her name is Trong Min Kai. Time slipped through the cracks of the night as the moon cast a silvery glow over the sleeping buildings. The next morning, Vuong Tran and Min Hao were taking a casual stroll through the busy streets. Min Hao, being his usual talkative self, started grilling him. So, did Truong Min Kai actually agree to work with you? Vuong Tran didn't show much emotion. He just gave a slight smirk. Nobody knows a daughter better than her father. Tru Hong Hu too knows he can't hide the truth from her anymore, and he certainly can't stop her from seeking revenge. So, giving her all the money he's saved up over the years is his best move. He nodded as they walked. Well, I guess this Truong Hu Tu guy is pretty sharp after all. Right then, Con Nin brushed past them, her face full of disdain. Sensing the killing intent, Min Hao glanced around and whispered an alert. Captain, 5 meters to the left, there are 3 of them. 2 more up ahead on the right, 1 behind us to the left, and 2 more, lying in wait on the right. Including the one who just walked by, that makes 9. Wang Tran chuckled softly. It seems like your instincts haven't dulled one bit over the years. He glanced back and added, but there's actually 1 more person behind us. He cheered excitedly. Captain, you're still as legendary as ever. What do you say we team up 1 more time today? He didn't say much else, just pretended to brush back his hair as he gave a warning. 200 meters ahead, 7th floor, east wall, there's a skilled sniper. Minhwa clapped him on the shoulder, pumped up. With us here, a sniper in this kind of terrain won't even get a chance to shine. How about a contest to see who can catch more prey? Without a second thought, Wang Tran reached into his coat. You're on. Then, he pulled out a thick stack of cash and suddenly threw it into the air, letting the bills scatter everywhere as he shouted, Go! Seeing a rain of red banknotes falling from the sky, the crowd scrambled to grab them. It's raining money. Get out of the way. That's mine. Vu Lang's crew, stationed at different corners, couldn't hide their shock at the scene. Damn it. Taking advantage of the chaos, Minhwa took a running start and leaped into the air. He performed a graceful mid-air flip and flicked a hidden weapon. Vu Lang thought his opponent was just showing off and didn't dodge, only to have the weapon drive straight through his heart. Talk about bad luck. Minhwa's attacks were relentless and varied, hitting them from above and below. The other guy didn't stand a chance, and even those hiding in the shadows couldn't escape his reach. Seeing that they were losing, Kon Nin panicked and radioed her team. Mission failure, pull out now. Before she could even finish, she felt a cold needle pierce the back of her neck. She spun around in shock. After dealing with the immediate threats, Wang Tran turned and gave orders. I'll leave the rest to you. Have your bodyguards clean up the scene. I'm going after the sniper. Make sure to keep a few of them alive as witnesses. Minhwa immediately saluted. Yes, sir. A second later, Wang Tran vanished from the spot. He instantly reappeared on the rooftop of a high-rise building where the target was perched. Vu Lang had no idea the devil was standing right next to him as he focused on ordering his subordinates to move. Move, fast. Just then, Wang Tran kindly chimed in from behind him. I'm afraid your men are already gone. Seeing the man suddenly appear out of nowhere, his heart nearly skipped a beat. A moment ago, this guy was on the main road, 200 meters away, and in the blink of an eye, he was right here. He tried to keep his cool. Whatever. Now isn't the time to be solving riddles. Vu Lang lunged forward, thinking to himself that striking first is the key to winning. But his attack was easily parried by Wang Tran. Surprisingly, he wasn't annoyed at all. Instead, he felt a surge of excitement. This guy definitely isn't half bad. But then, a razor-sharp blade slid out from his gauntlet, and he started buzzing with anticipation. The real trump card was still waiting in the wings. The moment he drew his hidden weapon, he lunged like a beast, shouting, Die! Seeing how stubborn his opponent was, Wang Tran just slightly opened his mouth. Ha! Then, he let out a powerful breath, blowing it right at him. Vu Lang froze in confusion. What on earth is that smell? He couldn't tell if it was the guy's breath or something else, but suddenly, his entire world just faded to black. It felt like ages before he could finally force his eyes open. Across from him, Thi was fuming. Another assassin, she muttered. Is the constant stream of assassins ever going to stop? Seeing that Vu Lang was awake, she marched over to interrogate him. Who sent you? She demanded. But all she got was a cold, indifferent turn of the head. Thi was so livid she was left speechless. Seeing she was getting nowhere, she turned to leave, but not before giving her bodyguard a firm order. The interrogation is all yours. As long as you don't kill him, I don't care how you break him. She slammed the door behind her with a loud bang, leaving only the 2 of them in the silent room. Wang Tran finally broke the silence. An elite special forces operative. How did you end up sinking this low? Vu Lang didn't back down, firing back with a look of pure disdain. From the way you move, I'm guessing you were special forces too. So, aren't you just another thug playing house with Lai Minhwa? He sneered, his face dripping with arrogance. Honestly, if I hadn't come to the capital, I'd still be making a killing in the Golden Triangle. But those boasts only made Wang Tran smirk with pity. An elite from the Langna Special Forces unit failing to hold his ground in the Golden Triangle? If people heard that, they'd laugh until their teeth fell out. He didn't expect the guy to be so easy to read. He'd basically outed himself after just a few sentences. How the hell do you know I'm with Long Na? Since the cat was out of the bag, Wang Tran didn't mind explaining. The existence of the Langya Special Forces in Huaxia is top secret. Ordinary citizens wouldn't have a clue. But I'm not exactly ordinary. He pointed to the gauntlet. That hidden blade move of yours? I'm the one who invented it. I only ever taught it to the Lang Na unit, so how could I not recognize it? That revelation made Vu Lang feel like a complete amateur. He looked at him in disbelief and barked, You're from Longlan? Seeing his opponent's shock deepen, Vuong Tran calmly dropped another bombshell. It's not just me. Lai Min Hao is one of us too. So, trying to take him out was a massive mistake on your part. You were way out of your league. Those words cut through Vu Lang like a knife, leaving him in a state of deep despair. He hung his head. The gap between Longnya and Longlan wasn't something that could be measured by just a few ranks. Since I've fallen into your hands, I've got nothing left to say. I'm beaten. Do whatever you want with me, kill me or beat me. It doesn't matter. However, Vuong Tran calmly made him an offer. Agree to my terms, and I'll let you walk out of here alive. Caught off guard, Vu Lang looked at him in confusion, but then he shook his head, firmly refusing the deal. Forget it. As a former Special Forces operative, you know damn well that we don't talk. If I can't handle your interrogation, I'll just self-hypnotize and shut my brain down for good. Vuong Tran actually liked that attitude, though he found the technique a bit amateurish. Not bad, but you don't seem to get it. I'm from Longlan. I have 100 ways to stop you from hypnotizing yourself. Do you want to bet on it? The look in Vuong Tran's eyes sent a wave of pure terror through Vu Lang. What do you want from me? Vu Lang stammered. There was no point in hiding it anymore. Vuong Tran pulled out a large needle and made a cold proposal. I want you to do one thing for me every 3 months. Vuong Tran paused, looking thoughtful. As for what that task is, I haven't actually decided yet. That casual attitude made Vu Lang's stomach churn with anxiety. Can I say no? Vu Lang asked, his voice heavy with dread. Reading him like a book, Vuong Tran jammed the poison needle into him and whispered, You don't have the luxury of refusing. Those words broke Vu Lang's composure. Just kill me then, he screamed. Vuong Tran calmly admired the tip of the needle. This is a rare toxin I found in an ancient text. It's called the 100-day bone-rotting poison. Once it takes hold, after 100 days, your bones will start to dry up and snap, joint by joint. Being quick on the uptake, Vu Lang immediately realized what this meant. So you're saying, I'm forced to come to you for the antidote every 3 months. And if I fail a mission, I don't get the antidote, right? Vuong Tran walked over to untie him and stated coldly, What use do I have for a broken tool? Like I said, you don't have a choice here. After setting him free, he immediately began laying out the plan. First, go back to your territory and start building up your own private militia. Quality over quantity. You have 3 months to gather 300 elite soldiers for me. In the Golden Triangle, that's more than enough to become a major player. His tone softened slightly, but only slightly. As for funding, you figure that out yourself. If I'm happy with your progress in 3 months, I'll provide you with some real muscle and resources. Vu Lang immediately agreed to the terms. With the partnership officially sealed, Vuong Tran's eyes turned murderous as he gave a calm warning. For your sake, I will let Thong Kong Mai slide this time, but do not let there be a second time. Those words left Vu Lang completely shaken. How do you know my second uncle? He flashed a sly grin and continued to explain. I told you, I have my ways. Fine. If it happens again, I will just eliminate Thon Kong Mai, so you can legitimately inherit the Long Mai group. That would not be a bad thing, would it? The man was so shocked he was speechless. However, with his sharp eyes, Vuong Tran reminded him, You cannot hide anything from me. He continued in a nonchalant voice. I can see the desire, malice, and ambition in your eyes, and those are exactly what I have been looking for lately. Having his darkest secrets exposed, Vu Lang could only obediently comply. I will do whatever you say. This attitude made Vuong Tran very satisfied, and he encouraged him. Good. I look forward to your good news. The next morning, Thi Thi's questioning voice echoed through the house. What? You let him go again this time? On the contrary, Vuong Tran seemed perfectly calm. Who was it that gave me full authority to handle it? The counter-question made her stutter. Did I ever say that? But she quickly regained her composure, sat down, and continued to ask. Whatever. I do not care how you handled it. Now tell me, did you find out what the problem is? Vuong Tran immediately replied. It is Than Kang Mai from the Long Mai group. The information sent Thi Thi into such a deep shock that she could not hide the expression on her face. What? So it was the boss of Long Mai Group, Thon Kong Mai, who sent people to kill me. Ting Da jumped out of nowhere to tease her. Long Mai Group? Why would he want to kidnap Thithi? That old man's taste is definitely unique. Facing those words, she clenched her fists and ground her teeth in annoyance. Han Tinda. That one punch easily sent Tinda flying into the distance. Thithi shouted in frustration, "Disappear for 2 hours for me." After sending him off, her face was suddenly filled with anxiety. She continued, "The Shangguan family must expand into every industry of the Long Mai Group this year. Thon Kong Mai is obviously not happy about it, so he wanted to kidnap me to threaten my father." Then, a look of resentment and bitterness appeared, but she also made a very firm vow. To think he would come up with such a dirty trick. "Thon Kong Mai, I will definitely make sure you are completely destroyed in the business world." The scene made Vuong Tran secretly admire her. Truly the eldest daughter of the Shangguan family. She usually looks like a bit of a klutz, but now it seems all her IQ is focused on the business world. He spoke up curiously. "What are you planning to do?" Thithi rested her chin on her hand, deep in thought, and began to lay out her plan. "There is no other choice now. Tomorrow night, there happens to be a party where many famous figures from the Wuxia richest list will be attending. I expect many famous young ladies and gentlemen to be there. I will make him lose face in front of everyone then." Tin Da, who loves having fun, cheered excitedly upon hearing that. "Great! Another party. I want to go with you. We should call Sister Thon Phi too." However, she was met with a cold rejection. "Sister Thon Phi has to stay home and finish her designs tomorrow night. Vuong Tran and I will go. You do not need to come along." The other girl quickly started pleading. "No way. There will be so many handsome guys at the party. I have to go. I absolutely must go." Seeing that she could not convince Thithi, she turned and acted cute while grabbing Vuong Tran's arm. "Brother Vuong Tran, you are the nicest to me. Thithi won't let me go, so will you let me follow you?" Her expression made him blush in embarrassment as he hesitated to reply. "Well, this." His heart was slowly wavering. "I am just a regular bodyguard. I am not the one in charge. Besides, if I say yes, are you going to keep acting this way?" Having no other choice, Thithi could only sigh and agree. "Fine, fine, I will take you with us. Just do not embarrass me too much tomorrow night." Having successfully used her charms, Ting Da cheered joyfully. Thithi finally agreed. "So, where is the party tomorrow night?" Thithi thought for a moment and then answered. "This high-class party will be held at the Heavenly Palace International Bar. No other bar would dare to host such a high-end event." Hearing that name, he could not hide his interest, and asked, "The Heavenly Palace International Bar?" At the Heavenly Palace International Bar, groups of wealthy young men were gathered and gossiping. Why is Shangguan Tithi here? In the past, the Shangguan family always attended these kinds of parties. Perhaps something is about to happen within the Shangguan clan. That is right. Who is that guy walking next to Shangguan Tithi? Do any of you know him? He does not look familiar at all. On this side, Thithi was politely chatting with Thon Kong Mai. "Thank you, Uncle Thon. I will pass your message along to my father." The old man also praised her warmly. "I did not expect Thithi to become such a generous young woman. I wonder who this young man next to you is." Seeing the man notice him, Vuong Tran immediately reached out his hand to greet him. "My name is Vuong Tran. I just returned from America. Nice to meet you, senior." Kong Mai did not even bother to shake his hand, and looked visibly cold. A dangerous look suddenly appeared on Thithi's face as she spoke with hidden meaning. "Uncle Thon, Kudung International is about to swallow up the Bak Dien industry. You better get ready, or Kudung is going to absolutely crush you." But that little warning only made the old man give a sinister smile. "You see, my Long Group has always been the king of the Bak Dien industry. It is not something some outsider can just come in and shake up. Listen, kid, do not talk so big, or you are going to end up regretting it." She froze instantly. Vuong Tran quickly placed a hand on her shoulder, signaling her to stay calm. He did not hold back at all when he fired back. "CEO Thon, young people are not afraid of making mistakes. It is how we learn. It is the old folks you have to worry about, with their heads full of crooked ideas." Kong Mai felt insulted and barked. "What is that supposed to mean?" Vuong Tran kept his cool, but added a mocking tone. "Oh, nothing much. Just a friendly reminder to behave yourself, CEO Thon. Otherwise, that bruise on your hand is only going to get worse." That bit of info made the old man look at his hand in total panic. When on earth did he poison me? Memories from not long ago came flooding back. and Kang Mai started to get suspicious. Could it have been the last time? Now that I think about it, my hand has been aching for no reason since that day. Vuong Tran did not waste any time and went straight for a threat. You know, social media is huge these days. If that video from your office ever gets leaked online, you are going to be more famous than you ever imagined. Hearing this, Thi, standing right there, began to look at him with pure admiration. When did he start making moves against Thon Kang Mai? Has he been helping me this whole time? Kang Mai lost his cool and screamed at him again. What exactly do you want? Taking a glass of wine from a waiter, he nonchalantly suggested, everything in this world has a price tag. Name your price, and I might consider giving you the video and the antidote. Having no other choice, the old man agreed to negotiate. 10% of my Long Group shares. How does that sound? Swirling the wine in his glass, Vuong Tran calmly remarked, 10% of the shares, huh? That is tens of millions in dividends every single year. CEO Thon, you are certainly being generous. Then, he grabbed Thi's wrist and made his final judgment. But honestly, I do not think that is worth as much as your life. This made Kang Mai even more anxious. He hissed, then what do you want me to do? Vuong Tran took the lead. 10% for the video, and another 10% to buy back your life. He smashed the wine glass straight onto the floor. The old man stood there, fuming and shouting. This is intimidation. This is blackmail. I am calling the police. Vuong Tran was not scared at all. Instead, he laughed in his face. Go ahead then, call them. Do not worry, I will tell the cops everything, including what is in those videos. Kang Mai looked at the whispering crowd and finally admitted defeat. 20%, all right? I agree. Having gotten exactly what he wanted, Vuong Tran rubbed his chin and said, it is a deal, but I have one more condition. That 20% of yours must belong to Ku Dung International, which means the owner will be Thuong Quan Ti. That hit a nerve. Kang Mai furiously grabbed Vuong Tran's collar and yelled, do not push your luck. With 20% of the shares, you would become the second largest shareholder of My Long. But he remained perfectly calm as he reminded him, of course, you do not have to take the deal. You could just try to kill me and then go find someone to research an antidote. It is just that I have already set a timer. If I disappear for 10 hours, that video will be leaked through a certain method. I cannot promise your reputation will survive that. Hearing this, the hand gripping his collar slowly loosened. His face was full of resentment, but he had to take it. I agree. Thi stepped up and added, Uncle Thon, let me give you some advice too. Honest business is better than anything else. Tomorrow evening, I will be going with my father to My Long Group to sign the share transfer papers. Thank you, Uncle Than. Watching him leave with a look of pure regret, she turned to Vuong Tran with a beaming smile. Thank you, Vuong Tran, for doing so much for the Thuong Quan family. Vuong Tran adjusted his collar and looked around awkwardly. Do not mention it. Thi suddenly felt a wave of curiosity. But why did you do all of this for me? She asked softly, her face turning red. Is it because you like me? Vuong Tran jumped back in shock. Huh? Me? Like you? Since when? Thi, still blushing, continued her logic. Well, because I am beautiful and very understanding. Hearing this, he did not hesitate to shoot her down. You, understanding? If you are understanding, then pigs can fly. That comment was like a dagger to the heart, leaving Thi completely stunned. Vuong Tran crossed his arms and explained calmly, even as she started to fume with rage. Look, when it comes to picking a girlfriend, my requirements are simple. She just has to be gentle, so you are definitely out. Thi was so mad she could only grit her teeth and scream his name, Vuong Tran. Just then, Ting Da appeared out of nowhere, running toward them excitedly. Vuong Tran, you were so cool back there. I cannot believe you won so easily and taught that top entrepreneur, Thon Kang Mai, a real lesson. She grabbed his arm and started bragging happily. As your friend, of course I would not let you lose face. Earlier, I smeared some of your Vuong family chili sauce inside his wine glass. Am I cool, or what? Do I have even a bit of your style yet? Wang Zheng was beyond awkward, replying, Good. You are a quick learner. Upstairs, Zhao Nan thoughtfully watched the scene below. Young Master Su, you saw that, did you not? This Wang Zheng is not simple. We need to be careful. Tianran held his wine glass, finally revealing the intel he had gathered. I looked into the Wang family in Philadelphia, and they really are quite influential in the States. He frowned, looking worried. It is just that the members of the Wang clan are extremely mysterious. They do not show their faces easily. All their subsidiaries are managed by people with different surnames. Zhao Nan looked pensive, meaning even you could not uncover Wang Zheng's true identity, young Master Su. Even if this Wang Zheng really is from that Philadelphia family, I do not get why he is picking a fight with you the moment he arrives. Tianran gave a knowing smile, looking down at the hall and suggesting, "It looks so lively out there. Why don't you and I go down and take a look?" Seeing this, Zhao Nan quickly advised, "I think young Master Su has already sent someone else to test the waters. We should probably just stay as spectators." He completely agreed with that idea, but then, a look of shock suddenly flashed across his face. It is her. Why did she suddenly show up? Down in the main hall, the wealthy young men were visibly jealous, seeing Wang Zheng surrounded by beautiful women. Who on earth is that guy? How can he be so close with the eldest daughter of the Shangguan family? 3 beauties by his side. That guy's luck is insane. I wish I could be in his shoes, surrounded by all those gorgeous women. Just then, Hai Xing stepped out from the crowd, with a look of pure contempt. Oh my. If it isn't the great Miss Zhang? You are always trying to seduce Master Su, so why the switch to this young boy? What is the matter? Did your taste change? Jingye immediately pulled Wang Zheng's arm and whispered, "She is the precious granddaughter of Elder Song. Song Hai Xing has always had a thing for Su Tianran. You should go hit on her, then dump her." He wondered to himself, "Do I really look like such a scoundrel?" Sensing the woman's malice, Mingqi remained calm and explained, "Miss Song, Wang Zheng and I are just friends. Do not just jump to conclusions. I have always had the utmost respect for young Master Su. There is nothing improper between us." However, Hai Xing continued her bitter tirade. "Some women just love being cougars, hunting for younger meat. This kid looks about 21 or 22. You certainly know how to pick them, Miss Zhang." Hearing those words, Wang Zheng's face went blank. "I just take good care of myself, and my skin is a bit smooth. I have a few less wrinkles, but is that really enough to be called 20-something? This woman seriously needs to get her eyes checked." Despite being slandered, Mingqi politely warned her, "Miss Song, please watch your mouth in public." Then, she fearlessly exposed her. "Everyone here knows you are chasing after Master Su, and everyone also knows how cold Master Su is toward you. I honestly do not get it. How low does someone's IQ have to be to come looking for humiliation like this?" She then dropped a reminder that left the other woman unable to hide her shame. This just makes it even more obvious to everyone. Not stopping there, Mingqi continued her poised but sharp verbal attack. "Besides, Miss Song, your behavior makes it seem like you have no upbringing at all." Crushing under the humiliation, Hai Xing finally lost her cool. She screamed, "Shut up! Someone who grew up without a mother's guidance has no right to talk to me about upbringing." The moment those words came out, the entire party fell into a deathly silence. Only Xingye kept whispering in Wang Zheng's ear, "Bringing up someone's deceased mother like that is just way too much." He gently put a hand over his mouth.